Welcome back to What Remains. Last session, the group had entered into the town of Argenti, learned a dire secret about the peoples of that town, and decided, no, that's good. We'll go ahead and move on. They descended Mount Silverfang back towards Manus, where they left the carriage and horses, then took to foot, moving through the northern portion of the Howling Woods, around Mount Silverfang's base and along the coast, and the Silver Strait, up to a temple that was marked on a map they saw in Manus, and made very specific efforts to copy, memorize, and basically acquire the details of that map. They have that map. The map is theirs. The point is that they've arrived at the temple. They did so at a relatively late hour, and instead of entering into the temple at darkness, they decided to sleep outside. They've engaged in their long rest. It's completed. If you haven't recovered all your hit points and the like, please do so. But upon waking in the morning and preparing, as you do in the morning, with Golradir preparing spells and praying to Alawain, Gavin now kind of preparing himself in the primal kind of form, Josie going over her spell book. So, not Josie, rather, sorry, Fiona. Hezrod praying as well. I believe that they would just see you, right, Steve? Because I know people who might be watching the stream at a later point see you and don't understand who you are. He is a patron and he is a guest star, and we'll get into his character and the details therein. But you're just walking up, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
As soon as I see the tall Atavian knight, I just kind of... They're like a tree line before the temple, and they're just camped up right
They were
up front of it.
kind of camped just at the edge of the tree line, so that they wouldn't be detectable, and they were kind of close enough to the shore that they could see like bioluminescence and what have you. They were well hidden in the forest line, but not so much so that you couldn't detect them if you were seeking them out.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to be stealthy, so yeah, I just kind of... you guys kind of see a kind of middle-aged, average height, I guess warrior type, full armor and traveling gear. Looks pretty grizzled. Kind of has his face kind of looks a little scorched, and he has kind of a gnarly brand on his face. Definitely looks like he's pretty weathered. And then yeah, kind of tailing him very closely behind him is a small girl with purple skin and white hair. And right before I kind of get to earshot, I kind of just like look down and I say, "Girl, him?" And I kind of point at the Atavian knight.
Mm-hmm.
Say, "You, knight, sir, well met." And I kind of hold my hand up to my chest, kind of give like a small bow. Hail.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Everyone will look towards this strange occurrence, and he'll do the same. Hail.
I'm Alva. Traveled these lands far and wide, searching for who I knew not until this moment. But searching for you, it seems I was.
I don't think he knows his name, she says to him, but loud enough that they can hear.
My name is...
I was right. He doesn't know it.
You two were looking for me.
It would seem that way. May I present the lady, Umesath?
She nods her head.
Everyone will get down on like one knee, try to meet the child's eyes. Umesa.
Correct. For a quick kind of catch, though, I do want, if you are trained in Arcana or Religion, you can roll either. That is for the people who are outside of the pair.
I can do religion.
I can do neither.
15.
I can stealth. I can survival.
Okay, so Josie, Fiona's the only one who actually understands what this girl is. She's not just a strangely colored, kind of individual. She is a different kind of being. She is what is known in some circles as a Zenithri, in other circles as a diva. That's D-E-V-A. And a diva is a lawful entity, a creature of pure kind of law, that has moved through lives by basically keeping a hold of the memories of her past. They are basically like, as a tiefling is to a kind of a demon, it's a plain-touched kind of chaotic, or plain-touched kind of evil entity, and like I'm trying to think of other plain-touched creatures, Aasimar, and then and the like plain-touched entities. This is a plain-touched entity of a law, of a lawful kind of outsider or being of like the lawful aligned planes. The other two of you aren't sure, but you definitely recognize that there's something about her that's kind of paradoxically kind of like just very well structured. She seems to be holding herself composure-wise in a very orderly fashion. And as you kind of kneel to face her, her eyes haven't opened the entire time you've seen her. Her eyes kind of flitter open just a little bit, and she looks into your eyes. And the second that happens, everyone who isn't Jonah doesn't matter for the moment. As you stare into Umasath's eyes, you are encircled by this kind of darkness, this void. Directly behind her, you see a throne made out of rubies. She looks up at you with her bright kind of purple eyes that, even though her skin is purple, seem to stand out from that tone. And she says to you, "You haven't figured it out yet. You haven't learned."
No. I know I'm here for something, but I recall not what for.
Your purpose is your own. Your will is strong, and you have held tightly to something. Something that was given to you. Something that's not yours, though. I am hopeful that I can help you in your journey in finding what is rightfully yours. And she says that as she starts to turn and look back at the throne. The darkness fades from you, and it kind of shifts back to, that moment. For everyone who isn't Avrin and her, what you see is her kind of just staring at him, turn and kind of close her eyes back to the kind of, shut-eyed look she had before. And Avrin kind of jolt as something happens in that moment.
Could you tell me what my name is?
She turns and looks back, her eyes opening just slightly. No, I cannot.
He stands back up. Thank you.
I can tell you that your name holds power over some. But the same could be true of many of you, I suppose. She looks to Alva, eyes kind of shutting again, and she says, "These ones are heading into the temple. I think we should go with them."
Is that to me?
She then takes her place back behind Alva.
Yeah, Alva, that was to you.
As you wish, my lady. I will go where you command.
He
Kind of looks up to the rest of the group. Let me be forward. I am bound to this child until she dismisses me or death takes me. Where she goes, I command. Even if you do not want me with you, if she tells me to go into the temple to follow, I will do so.
Can everyone hold out a hand to shake out Alva's hand?
Yeah. Do you take his hand in a grip, Alva?
Not his hand. I grab his forearm. I grab his forearm, kind of like a warrior's grasp.
After there's kind of a momentary kind of like shock, kind of like a huh, like a. Traditionally, this is not how an Osirian shakes, but Alva, realize that he's very comfortable and like seems to fall into the grasping of forearms very quickly. He doesn't seem. Some people in Osiria are awkward about it, but the Parnan fighting man kind of grasp is taken actually pretty naturally by Abrin, which kind of catches you off guard, as he is a very Osirian guy.
I will fight alongside you, Alva.
Good. You are large for an Osirian. Typically, I stand head and shoulder above most fair-skinned, blonde folk, but you see you're quite sturdy.
I have been getting that a lot, but I haven't actually been to knock yet.
Well,
Nor have I.
Well, I can attest to the fact that you are definitely not like other Osirians that I've seen in Noct.
I need to see this, but first we must go to that temple.
The young girl starts kind of pulling on your arm, Alva, and whispers something to you. I'm going to go ahead and message to you in the side. Just keep an eye out for that, but continue with your conversation as that continues.
Alva, please meet the rest of the group. This is Eric. He is a ranger. He is a skilled marksman. That over there, reading that book, that is Fiona. She is a skilled magic caster and incredibly brainy. Over there, the one drinking the wine. That is Golridir. He is our medic, our healer, also our face. Over there, that is Hezrod. He is a proven warrior, extremely potent in the battlefield. Wrath fills his eyes as blood fills the battlefield.
Hezrod blinks, but he blinks one eye at a time. So it's like one eye blinks, and then a second later, like the other one does.
And if you want a quick kind of look at the character arts, for description purposes, they're in the handouts, handouts, dramatis persona, player characters folder. That's the chain.
Everyone. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
This is Alva and Umiseth.
Pleasure.
Good evening. Hey, is it evening or night?
It's morning. Morning
morning.
wine.
It's morning.
Right? It's
yeah.
morning?
When you kind
Should
of
be early
Is
morning.
it morning?
Alva, when you kind of inspect
I thought it was
what
morning.
she inquired about, there's
That
nothing
was
off
evening, how's
about
Robert's doing?
what she's saying. There's nothing weird.
And does a quick scan and shallow bow. His gaze kind of lingers on the merfolk for a second. Just kind of, he's most unique of the group. Kind of shallow. Well met. I've traveled these lands for some time, and you all don't look like you've managed to go as far as Cardithia, I think is the one.
Cardiff.
But I will not try to hide what I am. This mark on my face is a mark of Cardithia. It brands me a traitor. But I am known as the Wayfarer. There are many who call me the Ashen Soldier, the Wanderer, the Exile. Know that the man who gave me this mark is nothing but a liar and a murderer who would sell out his own mother if it meant a few extra gold. Do not presume me to be such a traitor. If the lady wishes me to accompany you and to defend you, know that it will be done. Many things have been said about me. Know that most of them are lies.
Well,
Well,
Considering he said many things have been said about him, would we have heard about him? Rumors or anything?
you can make a history check if you're, even if you're not trained in it, and only if you've been in the city of Nock before. If you've never really been in the city of Nock, which I don't think Hezrod has,
6. I heard nothing.
and also I don't think
24.
Avrin has. So the mark that he's talking about, the Cardithian mark, is specifically a mark used by a specific Cardithian, known as the Lion, Gondar, the Master of the Honor Bound. It is a mercenary company, which you may have read about in the handout. The Honor Bound are basically relatively new mercenaries to the scene. They started out in the Mudis region of Munio Kingdom, and they've been kind of putting different cells in different locations. With that history roll, you would know that Gondar is a member of the Champions of Mudis, which are a group that protect that middle kind of land region in the kingdom. And he is quite the skilled knife fighter. Anybody who has ever been a member of the Honor Bound is presumably of good stock, at least fighting stock. And as you can see, Alva here appears to be nothing less, but for some reason him and the Honor Bound have come to a disagreement that has marked him for life.
I had a question. It just left me.
As you're
Sorry.
kind of like
Go on.
thinking about the situation, Umaseth kind of looks up to Alva and kind of breaks out of her whispered tones and says to Alva, he's not ready yet. Perhaps a journey inside of this temple will help him. But unfortunately, seeing him in this state, I am afraid that you might have to carry this burden a little longer.
It will be done.
We will help them if his eyes are opened by this experience. Then I will stay with him. If his eyes are not, you and I will make our way to the city, and hopefully I can find others.
As you wish. Alva kind of turns his gaze to Alvrin. The lady believes your destiny to be within this temple. I will help you conquer whatever challenges lie within, but I must insist that we push forward.
I understand. Thank you.
Hezrod is, so the newcomer was discussing the scar, the brand on his face. He also was like kind of eyeballing Hezrod, I'm assuming because he'd never seen a merfolk before. And as far as merfolk go, Hezrod is not exactly the most ideal
Well,
exemplar.
as we've determined in the Tuesday game, there is no such thing as a stereotypical merfolk, because the merfolk played by Shijo in that game has tentacle legs when she shifts into her fish mode, and
She's
like
so cool.
bright pink skin. Yeah, every merfolk we've drawn for campaign so far has been dope. But yeah, Hezrod is definitely the beefiest fishman you've ever seen, if you've seen any.
I love it.
Yeah, he's also covered in like all kinds of scars. Some of them almost seem to be like resembling like a certain pattern, but it's kind of hard to tell because scars tend to like mar flesh. And he has kind of like a disheveled appearance. You can see he's got, you know, like various like barnacles and stuff like encrusted on him. And he's wearing like his clothing is sort of like piecemeal armor, kind of tied together by like pieces of net and like ropes, and like a harness that's like wrapped around him, and the harness is like bedecked with all kinds of random things, like a holy symbol of Batavius.
A quick
couple,
note. Sorry, not to cut you off. I understand you're in the description point, but I just want to make sure you are aware. Steve has been prefaced by on the characters, so you don't have to describe too much.
Okay.
Yeah. That's one thing I want to avoid with guest stars. Is basically I'm going to tell
Sure.
him basically this is what they look like. Here's the pictures. This is what they're kind of doing and kind of their attitudes to kind of jump in easy. The only person who really needs to go full descriptor is the guest star. So yeah, sorry, I didn't explain that to you guys. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
That's my
but
fault.
As the newcomer is like kind of looking Hezrod over, Hezrod is doing the same thing, so they're kind of just like staring at each other and sizing each other up.
Absolutely.
And after he explains the nature of the mark on his face, Hezrod says,
Scars are trophies of the things that make us stronger.
Quick, as you're kind of eye gazing at each other, you would note that both of you have pretty cool weapons. The weapon that Hezrod has, either on back or whatever, is a really masterfully crafted great axe, kind of like a red blade. And then the weapon that Alva is wielding, or has, is a just very crudely shaped piece of steel that's been sharpened to a razor's edge, and it's massive. But it has a certain kind of energy kind of glowing around it. It's like it's just very potent looking.
yeah, Hezrod's gaze would linger on the weapon. Like,
Yeah.
as his eyes are kind of like roaming over the newcomer and like, checking things out, like his gaze would linger on that weapon.
So, as that's happening, as there is definitely kind of like a tribe romance kind of going on between Avran, Hezrod, and Alva, and Umasath is just kind of not really paying attention to that dynamic. Meanwhile, Fiona and Fiona Golradier, obviously towards the back, and Eric kind of close to this, but just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
He's on the outskirts.
it's like the tiniest lad. I'm so high. Yeah, what are you three doing? Is basically what I was trying to interject there.
Well, if it's the morning, I'll be packing stuff up,
Okay. So you
getting the camp packed up and ready to go on.
you kind of drag the camp down. Golradier drinking, obviously, and just kind of keeping abreast of what's going on with everyone who's now having engagements. And then Fiona, you do notice that in that early part where it looked like there was whispered conversations, the girl was kind of looking at you, but then kind of lost like attention or concern. After that, though, what would you like to do?
Previous session.
Hold on. Wait, sorry, you're muted.
You're muted.
Josie?
Is she muted?
Oh, Josie is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're still muted. On Discord.
No, she's not. She's not muted on Discord because you see it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So something
that's
else is
odd.
going on because you'd see the muted symbol next to them.
Yeah.
Or
Check the
Mic?
input.
audio input.
Yeah, audio input.
Yeah.
Under user settings with a little gear.
Can't have a game without technical difficulties. Sometimes it's Shona, sometimes it's me, sometimes it's...
Welcome to the show.
Oh, by the way, Brent says, Steve,
Oh, and she gone. Oh, that's just Zoom.
in the disc, or in the Twitch.
We lost.
The Twitch.
Don't worry.
Probably refresh.
Oh, she's
Okay.
still in Discord.
Yeah.
Josie, leave. Oh, there we go.
She gone.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
Oh,
Last
no.
session, I had a question about the damage that was done to the temple, but it was dark.
Yeah, so now that it's light, I'm going to explain that in more detail. And if you're approaching it, that'll also help. So the best way to kind of describe the temple is it's about 50 feet tall with kind of a vaulted roof, right? And it's completely made out of stone. Like someone just carved it out of one piece of stone. But as you're kind of looking at it in daylight, what you couldn't see during the nighttime is that the entirety of the roof is just caved in. So there's literally just a shell kind of this structure that kind of goes up. It's basically its farthest end is connected to the roots of the mountain, the base of the mountain. That said, You can see that there is no door. It looks like there was a spot where a wooden door might have been placed, but that's no longer present. It looks like that has rotted away, probably ages ago. With that being said, it's wide open, and not too far from the door, you can see that there's kind of tracks along the dirt. Looks like a pair of kind of wheeled markers that kind of run up to the door. And just near the door, you can see what you would all know if you've been in the city of Knock is an auto carriage. Looks like someone just drove up here in an auto carriage. Looks like they came along the coast from a different direction, though, from the north side. The auto carriage in question looks like it has a very beautiful kind of black lacquer kind of exterior with kind of gold trim. You can see that on the back paneling, there appears to be a symbol which everyone recognizes as the twin snakes of the conglomerate.
You guys hear this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we hear you now.
Yeah, we're hearing you now.
What were you saying before we continue forward, though?
Okay. She was just saying that basically Fiona doesn't trust these people at all. She
Yeah.
knows that this small child is not really a child and is some like divine being from another plane. And she is also like she was kind of on the fence about Averon last week or yesterday, so this is kind of like enforcing the fact that he's strange as hell
Yeah.
and something's wrong here. So she is currently at the back of the pack next to Hezrod and Golradir, and just like she's doing that thing where she is absolutely looking at them and trying to hear them, but she's also trying to be discreet.
With that being said, I'm going to type something out to you in a secret message, and then you'll know something that happened.
The fact that
Cool.
she like trusts and feels safe around Hezrod is very telling.
Out of everyone, the Fishman is the least suspicious, and that
Right.
says something.
Really?
I mean, that's fair.
Wow.
Like this man eats literal garbage.
I mean, I know he's going to break everything around him, but I know that's true. That's like I can trust that. That's like that's a certainty.
Yeah.
Wubba dubba dub dub.
He's like, I know that he's going to do these guys. Everyone else, I don't. Jesus.
The doorway to the temple, if you kind of approach it, it does look like it kind of leads into like an open chasm. The auto carriage is also there. What would you folks like to do? I'll go ahead and start with the front of the pack. I presume that'll be Hezrod. That'll be Avrin. Sound fair?
Yeah. My question was, according to the rumors, this place was attacked and just kind of sacked by sea monsters.
Yeah.
Would I be able to? Is there like any evidence of which kind of monsters they were, or would I be able to recognize the signs of any particular creature?
Okay. So you're focusing on kind of the exterior and the structure to see if you can kind of recognize what kind of damage was done here. Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check while I move on to Avrin. You're also at the front of the pack. Is there anything that you want to investigate? The auto carriage, the temple itself, into the temple, what have you, whatever you want.
Definitely the auto carriage to see if it's been there for a while or if it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a either investigation or survival, your choice. Whichever one you choose will determine what you get result-wise. Meanwhile, kind of closer to the front there, I would assume Eric would basically be right on point. Eric, what would you be kind of looking at?
I'd also be interested in the auto carriage.
Okay, so same thing, investigation or survival, your choice, as you kind of investigate the auto carriage proper. And then Golradir, you probably would have been mid-range as well. And is there anything that you would have checked out?
Other than our new companions, probably more focused on the like the looking towards like the inside of the temple that's fallen.
Okay, and regarding the new people, Alva appears to be very serious, but hyper aware of his surroundings, very focused and attentive. But he doesn't seem to be hostile towards anybody. Just that he is very much like the Twilight Knights that you would be familiar with, which are basically the guardians of kind of like the council members. They are defenders of like the nobility. And so he's very kind of in a hyper-aware state as he's protecting Umisaf. You would also note that Umisaf basically moves with the grace of someone who is well beyond your station. Like very, very, like there's cadence in her movement. She appears to be moving with a regal kind of posture that no one else is going to detect besides you. She is very high birth and very high class as well. That said, as you kind of dip in and kind of look inside, I'm going to go ahead and move the map. This is not an actual move. You're not actually going in. It's just you kind of peeking inside of the temple. But basically in that spot at the bottom there is kind of like a landing that's just beyond the doors that kind of leads into the temple. And as you can see, it seems to have fallen inwards. But there might have been levels like inside, and the mountain's kind of fallen in on it, on the interior of the shell. And it's basically a broken temple, and you can see that the facade leads into the mountain deeper. Okay, Alpha, I'm assuming you kind of took a middle ground position, just to ensure, kind of letting them proceed with their quest, but also being ready to assist. That said, auto carriage inside the temple exterior itself.
Most likely be focused on kind of like the entrance to the temple, kind of keeping my eyes just to make sure if anything is gonna coming out, so that we would notice it.
You and Golradier kind of move up to the entrance and kind of peek in, and you can see that Golradier is very flippant in his movements. I presume, is that accurate?
Yeah.
But you definitely are hyper aware enough to realize that Golradier has basically took in your entire continents, as well as Umasat's, and is basically watching you with the same kind of attention to detail that Umasath has paid to every single person she's met. That said, last but not least, Fiona, back of the party, keeping an eye on everyone. Fuck all these people. Yep. At the same time, there are some other things. If you want to stay hyper-focused on them, that's fine. But if you want to focus on anything else, you have that as well as an option.
The party skeptic.
Yeah, so now that she's at the back of the pack, she's going to like casually take out the new dagger, and use the chain to just wrap it around her forearm, so that even if it, she's jostled, she'll still have it.
Got it.
And just kind of focus on it for a bit, and focus on the people in front of her, and just think about things, because she also like recognized she clocked his really nice weapon.
Well, no, his weapon's not really nice. It just seems very potent. It looks like it's basically just a large slab of steel that's been curved and basically sharpened to the finest point that you've seen, but it's still just a block of metal.
There's no cross guard or pommel on it. The handle is essentially just leather straps wrapped around the base.
Yep.
Like something like a grip onto it.
A real man's weapon.
It's a very bad sword because you can't deflect and guard with it.
I mean, if it works, it works.
In like such disappointment, knowing that it really won't do shit, but she'll just keep it in her hand and just
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he definitely looks formidable. It definitely looks like he's probably on par with either of the two frontline, individuals you have. He definitely looks formidable. She is still an enigma, though. Absolutely. Like, I mean, you know what you know, but at the same time, like, you don't know much. That said, we're going to go ahead and check these rolls. First, but not... the first one on the docket was Hezrod. What did you get on your check? Investigation?
11.
11. Okay, you can see that there's a lot of damage kind of on the exterior. There's kind of like scarification, but it could also be kind of a weathering from like something large grappling it, like tentacles, like a kraken or something. You really can't tell. There's a lot of damage that also might just be weathering, because this is a very old temple that's been out here for a while. You feel like if you really want to get to the heart of the temple to find out what kind of destroyed it, you're going to have to go in. And so you're kind of looking at the outside, kind of like something really big, but that could be anything in the seas, you know? That said, moving to the two individuals who moved to the auto carriage, what did you get on your check, Jonah?
I got a 15 survival.
Survival. Okay, so you would note that the car hasn't been here too terribly long. It's definitely only been here for a couple of days. That being said, looking at it, it is a very unique auto carriage in that it looks like it has a lot of artifice that you're not very familiar with, and very crafty looking magical kind of bits to it. Based on what you're seeing in the path, it looks like it drove off of the sea onto land and just drove up here.
What is this sorcery?
Right. And then Eric, what did you get on your either survival or investigation?
A big old freaking 8.
Those tire tracks are pretty deep. So your presumption is that there was at least there was probably more than one individual in the vehicle when it rolled up here. That's the best you can kind of get. And then Golradier and Alva, you kind of move towards the front entrance, and like I said, you can see into the area there, kind of noticing that the temple looks like it's kind of fallen in, and the rocks on the outside have kind of formed up. You also see that there's a lot of sand, which is probably blown in from the coast, and kind of fallen in and kind of been locked into this kind of position herein. You also notice that there are birds kind of just lingering around inside, vultures specifically.
Hezrod looks at them and kind of scowls, and then if like they look in his direction and kind of like stare at him, he just raises his arms with like his axe, and he's holding it in both hands, and he's just like la, la, la!
Some of them kind of
sort of like yelling at him and trying to scare him away.
Some of them kind of confused at you. Some of them fly out of the roof and kind of make their way up the mountain a bit. Or start circling, actually. Some of them actually start circling, which is strange.
Stay hungry.
Yeah. He's not a fan of that.
That said, Golradier and Alva, what you notice about the far side, there's a number of pillars that look like they might have held up like a level that you would be kind of moving out onto if you were in a brand new temple. Across from you, you can see on this level, there appears to be a large metal mound kind of in that alcove at the top portion that's just kind of sitting there. It kind of looks like it's very strange. Just a very strange kind of mound of metal. Looks like it has some symbols on it that might be kind of Atavian markers or something. Can't really tell from this distance. Above that kind of alcove, the top alcove, you can see that there's a series of stones that are set inside of kind of small reliefs. There's about 8 of them. These stones are pretty massive, probably about 4 feet tall, about a foot or 2 wide, and they kind of have like a nice sheen to them, despite all the weathering and damage that's fallen around it. The stones kind of glow a slight blue in the light, like it's not magical. It just seems to be kind of like a reflective kind of nature of it. But you can see that the main entrance to the temple is on the ground level, and it's that smaller entrance on the underneath.
Okay. So the main entrance is underneath, but it's more of like a platform.
This seems to be the main entrance down at the bottom, and then above it there's a platform with a weird metal dome.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And is there like I see that these are like the rocks are in tiers. Is there a way down?
Yeah, so it looks like you could definitely climb down. The height that you're above that next level is about 10 feet, and the height that is above the ground level is about 10 more feet. The pillars rise up to about a height of 20 feet, so the presumption is that the ground that you're walking on formerly had like a stone structure atop it that kind of went over the top of those pillars to the dome area, which might be like an altar or something, a prayer site for the temple here.
Right. Okay.
And then the beneath is like the inner cloister kind of sanctum.
Gotcha. So that's where we want to go, supposedly.
Straight through the front door or up in the upper alcove?
I mean, probably through the front door, since there's nothing there for us to
Yeah.
get up there unless we want to climb.
How high is it from the ground to that second alcove?
So it's about 20 feet.
Yeah.
We might be able to pull that off. I don't think I have a grappling hook. I don't know if anybody else does.
No.
Looking at it, if you were to be cautious, you could try and move along the right side of the rocks and kind of make your way to a point up where those kind of vultures are on the right and kind of climb across. If you were just trying to get to the alcove, or you could just walk or get down to the base level, then throw a grappling hook up around the column at the top and then climb up. Those are both options.
Or we could also just go through that little entrance here
And
and
just go
then
inside.
see if there's stairs or something.
Also,
Yeah.
Everyone will start going down.
okay. You're going to climb down?
Yeah.
The rocks are actually craggy enough that you don't have a problem. You very easily find hand footing. There's no requirement for a check. You only need to make a check if you're trying to do it in haste. But since you're, taking your time, moving down, anyone can make this climb.
Can I help Umaseth? If
Umaseth
she allows
actually,
it.
moves with Alva. And Alva, as you kind of start making your descent, she just kind of drops down, kind of floats, and kind of hits the ground, moves to the next dip, and waits for Alva to climb down.
pretty
Hezrod
metal.
stares at her
Eric-
the entire time she descends, like he's
Yeah.
completely unsettled by this.
Eric says under his breath, "Show off."
Fiona, you would recognize that there seems to be a permanent version of the spell Featherfall placed on her and her alone.
Yeah, Fiona definitely clocks that and just kind of looks suspiciously at the guy's face mark again.
I love it.
She's
also-
like, "I don't trust these people."
Y'all got trust issues.
I don't know you. Kicks him in the crotch. And runs off.
You're not my dad.
But yeah, she has no problem getting down. If you're heading to the base level, just show me how you're going to kind of get down there. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what your move is like.
Hezrod's definitely gonna be up in the front.
Sure, absolutely.
Then
And
just go straight down, pretty much, and then...
I'll,
Now,
I'll be shortly behind.
Hezrod, there does appear to be markings on the ground. The floor above, it kind of looks like some of the bits of the floor above looks like it's kind of settled in the sand. There do appear to be markings, but they're hard to make out. You can make a perception check or an investigation check, your choice.
Can he kind of brush some of the sand out of the way before he does
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Would that
Advantage-
help at all?
Advantage on the check.
Okay. And you said it was perception or what else?
Investigation, your choice.
While I was doing that, can I have a look around for footprints that may have been left by the people who came in the auto carriage?
Absolutely. Go ahead and make a survival check.
It's 19 on perception.
Perfect. In the common tongue, you can read the words as follows: servitude, a seal to pass, a staff to command.
Servitude, a seal to pass, a staff to command.
He kind of looks perplexed. Does that ring any bells? Is that like part of a legend or something?
Not that you're aware of.
Hearing those words, Fiona immediately activates Detect Magic and starts scanning the room
Okay.
for any sort of symbols or glowing, please.
I believe it has a
Wait,
30-foot
Jim,
radius, right? Or 30-foot distance.
Yes.
Okay.
She also has 120 feet of vision, so
Yeah.
I don't know if she'll be able to make out other markings or whatever.
So far, there aren't any other magical symbols or markings that are present. There's no glowing from the seal that is being looked over. There's no glowing from this place at all that you can see, other than the magic items that are present on party, which is an interesting factor. You'll note that Alva's sword glows pretty brightly, as do... what other items do you have, Steve?
I don't think I didn't take any other magic items. I spent my points on just being
Awesome.
really good at fighting.
Perfectly fine. The sword glows, and then it appears that the headdress that Umaseth is wearing glows, as do her boots, as does her dress, as does a pair of rings, one on each hand, that she's wearing. She seems to be very well kitted out with magic items.
So she's a Christmas tree. Got it.
She's a fucking Christmas tree. Yep, a
She
blue,
is a-
a blue Christmas tree. Blue, blue,
Just
blue
wins
Christmas.
even farther. For the
Uh,
stress levels, if they could go any lower, they've dropped.
Fair. But yeah, everyone else, you know their magic items, so nothing crazy there. Anyone else want to do anything, or are you moving towards the?
I rolled a 12 in my survival.
Oh yeah,
Just
not
fair.
really. It definitely looks like a lot of sand is blown through here, and as you're kind of
Yeah.
like, catching the air, you realize that this is like an air sink. Basically, what's happening is that the coastal air is coming in and kind of depositing downwards with gravity, and kind of just funneling into the space. So a lot of this sand is actually fresh.
Yeah. I sort of said that as soon as I seen, Eric started looking around as soon as he sees Hezrod swiping Duff, he's like, oh, shit, probably ain't gonna find much.
A lot of
So
sand.
is this temple very obviously like human made, or is
Yes.
architecture kind of a mystery?
Absolutely human made.
Okay. Yeah, Alva and Umaset just kind of stay up with essentially beside Avrin.
Okay.
So whenever,
Okay.
As you kind
whenever
of
you're ready.
move past that columnade, stop for a second. You hear a kind of metal click sound come from that dome up above, and you see that the dome kind of sprouts an appendage, a very massive appendage, and then a second one. It then starts shuffling upwards, steps out of the alcove, and drops straight down with a massive. You see that it is now not just a domed form, but instead an axiom. For those of you who aren't familiar with my campaign setting, an axiom is a Warforged Titan. If you're familiar with the Eberron campaign setting,
Oh, fuck.
it stands beset between you and the passageway that you sought. Roll initiative.
Holy shit, that's big.
As it like hits the ground and like rises up to its feet, Hezrod looks at it and then like
Oh!
smiles wide, like he reveals like all his shark teeth, and then he just like grips his axe in both hands and he says, "Smash!"
Oh,
God,
that's rolling out loud, isn't it?
Yep.
It's fine.
It's not like we can't see it in the initial turn
Yeah.
order.
It's always the best part is when it goes into that. All right, here we go.
I
We're
tried.
gonna die. We're gonna die, y'all.
As long as that's the only crit fail that
Oh,
you do.
shit.
All right, so first on the docket looks like it is it. You watch as it kind of moves forward, lumbering, not very fast. Kind of stops, and once it does so, you see that the big hammer hand it has and the scything hand it has kind of drop down. You then watch as a massive chain ball kind of flies out of the back of it, sweeping out and kind of snapping outwards. Avrin and Alva, go ahead and make dexterity saving throws. Success.
What, Brian?
Failure. Okay, so you duck Avren kind of beneath it. Alva, you see that Umasaf is definitely in the line of it, even if you were to dodge out of the way, so you kind of stand in position and interpose yourself and take the brunt of the shot. You take 19 points of damage. And the sweep kind of causes the chain to kind of wrap around it like a yo-yo and kind of lock onto its back. You then hear kind of a grinding sound as the chain is being kind of repositioned to its initial state. All right, it is done at that. Golradier, you are up. Holy shit, things are happening. Fiona, would you have descended down at all? If you want to move in closer, you can, or you can stay where you're at. That's fine too.
No, she wouldn't have. She was.
No, that's not for me, actually. No.
Smart lady. Smart lady.
I
Um.
understand.
Golradier's like, "Where's Fiona?" Ah, smart.
Like, yeah, I should be up there.
Regrets.
Brilliant.
Let's see. That is not what I wanted to do.
Did everyone take damage?
No,
from
none
the-
at all.
Oh, okay.
Why are you guys always so far away? I can't bless you guys. Why are you so far away?
Giant monster!
Bless is 60 feet, right?
No, it's
30.
30.
We'll just move up a
You
little
can
bit.
make it. Yeah, you can make it.
But so that means I have to be closer.
No,
to
if you move up 15, then you can cast it on these
Okay.
3, and then you can move right back to where you're at. You don't have to go,
we'll do
blessings
that
of
then.
Eloy and life to all!
Bless you, stupid idiots.
Alright, I'm back here
Run.
now, bye. So,
Yay,
Uh,
we're blessed.
Yes.
go ahead and put a yellow pip on your token,
Yep.
and you are blessed if you have a yellow pip. Hezrod, I presume, was the 3rd, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's where
Uh,
be blessed.
I got you.
Oh yeah.
Bless, bless, bless. Perfect.
Actually, let's cast that at 2,
get
and that
Eric
way
as well.
we can also get Eric. Yeah.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
All right. Alva, as you take the brunt of the attack, free perception check. Go ahead and make it. Okay. You kind of see that the thing is kind of lumbering forward. It doesn't seem to have any eyes to it. It's not looking at anything. It just seems to be attacking based on possibly instinct. Take that as you will. Feel free to take your turn.
All right. I'm gonna look over at Avern and say, "I guess this is your first trial. I must take my lady to safety, but no, I will be back behind you once she's safe." So I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to, because it threw that ball and chain out, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna try to get behind cover behind this pillar, and then kind of get into a defensive position. I'm gonna take the dodge action behind this pillar,
Okay.
waiting for the big man to engage.
Perfect. Eric, you're up.
Okay, just double checking.
Double chicken. Got it.
Range, range 150. Oh yeah, so like I can basically
Yeah,
reach
you're
anything and everything.
absolutely in range.
It's out there though, but yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna dump a hunter's mark on it immediately.
Okay, I'll green mark it.
Hunter's mark, and it hasn't been hit, has it?
Not once.
Not once. Let's see how badly this goes. Longbow. It's an 18.
18 plus 2, it looks like.
Bless.
Is that right? So 20?
Yeah.
20 hits.
Yeah, the plus 2 is the bless. So
Yeah.
that's 2,
Yeah,
12,
18 would not have
14.
hit. That's important. So, yeah.
Okay.
So it looks like 14 damage?
Yeah.
Alright, so you shoot, it hits true. You notice that the entity appears to be of an undaunted nature. The axioms are. So as you hit it and strike where you thought a vital point would be, you realize that it is indeed an actual vital point. You see vitae, which is kind of a red liquid, start to exit out of the undaunted's form. That's it. Second,
Okay,
or you
yeah.
don't have a second shot. That's it.
No, yeah. So Eric, you see Eric as Eric's going to shoot. He's thinking it's like this. He's like, you see in his face, he's like, this is not going to work. And he
It's
shoots
made
it.
out of metal.
You see Red and is like, he sees Red. He's like, oh shit, that worked. And then he runs to the pillar.
Okay, dash to cover. Avern, you're up.
Not even. Well, yeah.
Well, dart to cover.
Yeah,
Better
I
word.
know what you mean. Yeah.
Got it. Avern.
My brain mechanics.
Avran is going to first. He's going to cast shit. Where is it? Flash lance.
Okay.
Where-
All right. And I believe you make 2 more
3,
attacks.
right? Yeah. Okay. I didn't roll the d4 for that one. I don't know if it'll.
It
help.
won't matter.
Okay. Let me put that on. 2, 3.
That's on miss as well.
Both miss? Oh,
And yeah, double miss. Yep.
Oh.
So the
Okay.
lances kind of fly out towards it and kind of strike it as it kind of moves the hammer hand up. You watch as the bursts of radiance kind of detonate across the arm, and as it kind of moves its arm back down and away, it just leaves no trace.
Shit. Okay.
Any movement?
Yeah. Avron's gonna move 30 feet up to it.
All right.
Yeah, right there.
Fiona? Fiona, perception check free from you, and also a history check free from you. A lot of free stuff because of your watching from a distance.
Lovely. So perception and history.
You have advantage on perception.
Wonderful.
Okay. With the 20, you notice that the strange, weird gemstones, the massive gemstones on the top column portion, appear to be moving, almost like eyes that are kind of watching the battlefield, and they're kind of focusing individually on different targets. With the history check, you realize that this axiom, this entity, is ancient Civil War shit. This is conglomerate construct. This is not specifically an axiom. It's more in the lines of nyctalopes, which are a essence-bound construct. Basically, they take a living entity and bind it to a form, and then they create a servitor that acts as a defender, guardian, soldier, etc. Nyctalopes are absolutely abhorrent to everyone who likes magic, and likes magic being nice, because necromancy is kind of like, oh yeah, I'm returning a dead body, but it's not the person's soul. The soul gets to go and it's fine. Nyctalopes are taking the soul and using those as batteries to generate kind of a engine for constructs. It is very bad magic.
Okay. Would this have anything to do with? Because you said it was a civil war, but that wasn't around the same time as the dragon feud, right?
No. Well after. Civil War was
Well
like six. If Avron is history is as he says, Avron lived during the Civil War in his past.
Oh, okay. So, being absolutely horrified, she is going to try to take this thing down, but still do it at a distance. So, she still doesn't have. I don't have a single spell that is farther than 60 feet, which upsets me to my core. So she's gonna have to move 60 feet.
This descent is a 10-foot drop, so it'll be 20-foot movement for you. So if you want to dash, it would be minus 20, so 40 feet you could go. So you get to here if you dash.
Perfect.
Okay, and that's
what
your
we'll do.
that's your whole turn, unless you have a bonus action, Misty
I do
Step
not have
or
a
what
bonus
have you.
action.
Okay.
I am curious though. Would she?
Go
Would
ahead.
she know, or would I have to do a check about whether this kind of construct would have a brain?
Defenses? Oh, a brain. You would know it does. It is
Okay.
a undaunted, which is a living construct.
Good.
It
Okay. Thank you.
technically has a brain, even though it is a subservient brain.
So I would know that I
you-
could talk to it potentially.
Yes, but whether or not you'll be able to break the bindings that have been placed on it is a different question.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah. Hezrod.
He raises his axe and like charges towards him, but he's like holding the axe in one hand and he's got his other hand out, and as he like runs forward, he Eldritch blasts it.
Absolutely. Go ahead and throw those 2 attacks.
I've got so many attacks. I have to like scroll through a whole list just to find it.
And Alva, as you're kind of watching, the merfolk's rushing forward, his hand kind of throws out. You watch his 2 kind of spectral barracudas kind of snap out and move in like dark side kind of omega ray attack motions and slam into it and kind of just bounce off of the armor. Nothing happens with those.
Okay, so does it?
Its plating
Did
is
it-
stronger than your attack.
Okay, like I was gonna ask if it was in such a way that it was like the attack missed, or
No, it
that
hit.
it's
It just-
immune to force damage.
No, it hit. It's just that its armor is defending it. So like if you hit a guy with plate, he's not dodging your attack. He's taking the attack, it's just not getting through. Similarly,
I got
this thing
you.
is made of plate. All right.
And then 30 feet would put me. Actually, I'm just gonna move in like over here. So, like right about there. Bonus action, shield of faith.
Quick note: I'm going to be attacking you, but I want to make sure you all are aware of something. Now, I know some of you haven't picked up advanced ability checks, but I want to make sure you're aware. As an either athletics check or acrobatics check as part of your movement, you can attempt to ascend a creature that is larger than you. So if you want to mount this guy, know that is an option. Okay? Rule of cool trumps all other things. So it comes in with the hammer fist and the axe hand, dropping them both kind of in a kind of pattern. The axe comes down and the hammer kind of drops down onto it to kind of like hit it or hit near it. So axe hand first. 14, I believe, misses. And the
misses.
hammer fist definitely hits.
Okay.
22, I think, is good,
Ooh.
right? So the hammer kind of slaps into you. You take 17 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need a strength saving throw from you.
I'm gonna use
Inspiration?
yes.
Okay. As it kind of blasts into you, you kind of like stand your ground and feel inspired by, past events to not get thrown to the ground. But you felt had you failed that, you would have been thrown to the ground. So just 17 damage from that attack. It hits very hard.
Yep. I
All right.
feel that.
Go right here.
We not liking this.
This is a very
Yeah, most definitely not.
This does not look like a fun time.
this is 100% probably the hardest fight you will have ever been in.
And this is also the weirdest temple he's probably ever been in.
Yeah.
So how far is that one? Just double checking. That didn't do at all what I wanted it to do.
Then
Why is that not working?
I don't know. What are you
Nope.
trying to do?
I got it.
Okay.
I just
Are you
had to
wondering
do
how
it.
far it is away from you?
Yeah.
So it's 80
And-
80 feet.
Yeah.
currently.
For some reason, my ruler's not working. It
No
just
worries.
keeps saying Chad.
Chad is a ruler.
Chad.
The ruler of the seas.
he is the ruler. So and Avaran is all the way over there too.
Yep.
So we're just gonna move this round, and we are going to move back over
Who's breathing into their mic? I
here.
keep hearing somebody breathing into their mic.
Sorry, that's me.
All right.
I have large nostrils.
No worries.
How dare you have nostrils?
Did you cast anything or no?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm out of range for everything I want to cast.
Do you want to dash to get further up, or are you staying back there?
Yeah, let's actually dash,
Okay.
but we're gonna go like right there.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, Alva, you can see that the attention of the massive thing is kind of on Abra. At this moment, you'd actually see it's kind of raising its weapons back up and away. The hammer seems to have taken a good clip into Abran, but
So you said I can. You had me at mount.
yes.
So can I mount? Can I run up and try to like grab on as it's lifting its hammer, and that's how I like chip it on
Yes.
top of it? So yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
What's so athletics, right?
Athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
Oh god, no.
Okay. So you rush up to it, and it kind of like lifts its hammers up a little bit. As you kind of leap onto it, it kind of lifts quickly, and you kind of fall backwards and kind of land back in your position. You'll note that as you rushed out past the column, you were expecting Umasath to stay, but she is right behind you, kind of like ducking behind you.
Okay, so I didn't
Brave
serve
gal.
no other punishment besides failing that check,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And my bless, even if it was a +4, that wouldn't have been enough.
No, you needed a 15 to get it. So if someone
Okay.
wants to spend their inspiration, you can get it.
No, it's fine. I will, however, I'll invoke my fighting spirit to give myself advantage on my attack.
Okay.
So give myself 5 temp hit points.
And I will shift you. You can either be in this space, or this space, because this
That one's
space is
fine.
actually it. Okay.
That's fine. I'm also going to declare this as a great weapon attack.
Okay.
So -5.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's gonna miss.
With advantage, that's terrible.
Yeah, you kind of swing out for its leg, and it kind of shuffles, and moves away from your attack.
All right, that's all I got.
Eric.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Shoot it.
poke. I'm gonna do what I do best. I shoot.
Pew pew pew.
To go to. I almost feel like a warlock. I just shoot. I just instead of cantrips, it's just arrows.
Arrow blast. Go ahead and take the shot.
16 plus 4.
20 will hit.
For 20.
So it looks like it'll be
Okay.
23 damage.
Yeah.
You're kind of scoping it out and looking for another weak point. You shoot it just underneath the head. As it hits, you can see more kind of red fluid kind of emanating out of it. And Avrin, it's kind of shooting and hitting the sand near you. It hits the ground very similarly to how you've seen blood hit sand, except it has more kind of like of a congealing essence to it, this vitae. It seems to be kind of like pulling itself back into like a pile instead of spreading out like blood would.
Okay. And I'm going to ahead and run into this here crevice into this crevice over here.
Okay.
Imagine rock is stronger than pillars.
Absolutely.
That's it for me.
Avrin, you're up.
So after seeing Alva attempt to, climb this creature, could I attempt to do the same?
Yeah,
to
athletics
get
or
at its
acrobatics.
head. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
The
Wait,
hands kind
wait.
of fly up and are kind of dropping back down for defenses against the arrows and the like. You kind of try and leap up there. You get a foot up, but then you kind of spiral back down because you can't get a good land on it.
Damn.
Realizing you cannot mount it. You still have your
Fair.
turn, but your movement is expended.
Okay. I am then going to take this opportunity to cast Divine Favor.
Okay. You watch as the
And-
sword that he's wielding glows bright. And swing.
Yep, I'm going to take the Great Weapon Master attack. And Jesus, where is my great sword? Okay.
You kind of leap
Ooh.
off of it, spin, bring your sword up, not really paying attention to where you're swinging. You hear a loud clang. Your great sword will drop in condition, so it's put in parentheses next to the word great sword. Fine. As you clang against the arm of it, it kind of just deflects the attack, not even trying.
Oh no. You said fine?
Fine is the current condition of the great sword, correct?
Okay. Is it -1?
No, it doesn't do any penalties. It just means that it's
Okay.
closer to breaking.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Avrin's
Alright, yeah, that's it.
done. Fiona's, you're up, and I believe closer to being within range of shooting it. Oh, I didn't mean to pick you
Closer
up.
is the operative word. I still have to dash to make it over there, I think.
Let's see. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Hold
I mean,
on.
if I went right there, maybe.
No, if you go here, you're. Oh, that's real close. If you go here, no, you gotta dash
Yeah, I do.
5 feet outside.
So, I have an extra 10 feet-ish.
Kind of want to go here-ish.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
you
they're
can
all
get
right there. Yeah, so now I'm just above you guys. Great.
All right. Hezrod.
Frustrated that his old reliable did nothing. He continues charging towards it, and the hand he used to cast Eldritch Blast, like energy starts swirling around it. How tall is this thing?
25 feet tall.
Okay, so if I happen to cast Shatter centered on
Whole
its
thing.
face-
Yeah, you will not touch any of your friends.
Okay, so friends would be safe.
Absolutely. And it is made
Cool.
out of metal, so I think that has a benefit
Excellent.
for Shatter.
Yeah, it has a disadvantage on the saving throw.
Yep.
So he's just he's so frustrated. He's like, "Arrgh!" And he charges forward and just goes, ah!
Con
As
saving
he
throw?
charges into melee range, he casts Shatter at.
It's a con saving throw, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I failed. So it'll do 10 damage.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, and I can't use Embrace Oblivion. That's only on attacks. But I'm gonna move in the melee range, so I will be right here.
Absolutely. You watch as kind of a resonance pulses out of his hand, and you kind of see like a wave kind of structure appear in the center of the Titan and kind of cause it to shake a bit. A couple of nails and bolts fly out of it, and its head kind of wobbles in its space a bit. Fiona, since you're the only one who notices so far, you would see that all the eyes kind of move and focus in on Hezrod. And it goes to it. You watch as it shuffles its top of its body, kind of spinning, the feet kind of locking down and in place. Chad, go ahead and roll a d6. Okay.
I got a 6.
It is going to throw its attacks into you. 18 to hit.
On the nose.
And 19 to hit.
Yeah,
all right.
That hits.
Yeah, it's going to be a total of... Oh, let's not do total.
So if the first one hits, I'm going to use my reaction to deal slashing damage equal to my strength modifier.
Back at it. Which is a 4,
Yeah.
right?
My strength modifier is a 2.
Okay. So, I need you to make a strength saving throw. This is important for the second. Okay, success.
Nailed it.
19 bludgeoning damage from the hammer fist. And then you will take 14 points of damage from the axe hand. It would have been plus 26 more damage if you were prone.
Okay, so what's the total?
So
34?
19 plus 14. Yeah, 34.
Or
Or 33. Alright. And yeah, it seems that it's trying to kind of interject itself. It's kind of leaning in your direction to try and posit itself between you and the door. It's doing its job. Gloridir, you're up. Hezrod is a bloody mess from the hammer blow and axe slash. You're muted though. Elizabeth? Is everyone muted? Discord being weird? Can you hear me? You can't hear me. Okay, hold on. Maybe it's me. Test, test, test. Test. Oh, wow. This is wonky. 1 second.
I guess, yeah, switch to Zoom.
Yeah. Discord wonked me out. Okay, quick roll call. Jonah, I got you. Chad?
Oh wait, no, Discord's back up now.
Okay, hold on.
Weird.
It looks like.
Test.
Yeah.
You're doing it twice though.
No, I know. I did it on purpose.
Testing.
Yeah,
Testing.
yes, John, over here, you in Discord.
It was.
Discord decided I had a brain fart.
I wanted the most annoying to prove the test was accurate. Okay, so if everyone's back in Discord and it seems to be working, that was really strange. It was saying that there was no route. I didn't know what that means, but anyways.
Yeah, I know, I've seen that too.
Gloridir.
Yes. So we were going to, now that we're a little bit more in range.
Absolutely.
Yes, perfect. We are going to do Sacred Flame.
Perfect.
And
Dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
I failed it. Go ahead and give me that damage.
Okay. It's not there, so I'll just do
2d8.
2d8. Yeah. I just added that one, so
No worries.
7.
Okay.
And then for bonus action, Spiritual Weapon.
Okay. Spiritual weapons range is 60 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's good. I'll go ahead and drop the token. Go ahead and give me the attack roll with that, please.
14.
14 will miss.
Which, yeah.
And I'll make sure to use your spiritual weapon and not the cool shark.
Oh man. It's all good.
Just go ahead and place it there.
We no longer worship Batavius. It is now the cult of Hezrod.
That's right. Goran, you're done. Alva, you
All
are
hail.
up. And like I mentioned, she is right behind you. She is... This has happened before. If you've ever fought anybody with her, she doesn't hide. She doesn't cower. She just stays with you.
I want to climb it again, because cool. You know, why not, right?
Athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
Oh my god, nailed it.
Okay, so you watch as Alva kind of looks at the situation. The hammers kind of slam onto Hezrod. It kind of spins to check the others. As that's happening, he leaps up onto the hammer fist and rushes across. You watch as Umusov basically glides up and follows behind, like almost as if she's being like elevated and made to follow by some divine wind. You make it onto the top and the back of it. Your first attack, well on top of it, has advantage.
Awesome. Declare a great weapon attack, because why not? Oh my god.
Shink! There's like a large kind of spray of sparks, and you kind of hear a voice behind you, go for accuracy, not for damage. So Masaf basically tells you to stop it, crazy bastard.
It wouldn't
It wouldn't have helped, but I have to have flavor here.
It's only the first attack of each.
Absolutely. And that's it for you.
Yep.
Eric, you're up.
Yeah, Eric's gonna run out and once again you see him look behind him and do like a visual Eric, and he's like, ah shit, getting low here. And he loses another arrow at it.
Okay.
Trying to avoid Alva. Jeez, I had a brain fart.
No worries.
26.
That'll hit.
I think. Yeah.
So we're looking at 20.
8, 13, 21.
Yep. You hit it again, and this one actually causes a very massive explosion of the vitae fluid. It starts splashing about all over the ground. Very solid wound. And then you're done moving. You have a bonus action.
Yeah, I'm moving my 30 feet. I don't have bonus action though.
Got it. Cool,
for
cool.
anything. So at this point he'll just start he'll start moving over from bow and pulling out a short sword.
Avrin, you're up. And so far, all of the arrows that you fired are broken. So do notate that.
I've just assumed that I don't that they have been. Yeah. I have 5. I got 5 left.
Fair.
Oh no.
Avrin.
Avrin is gonna just attempt to break this monster's ankles.
Go with it.
Great Weapon Master.
Crazy bastards. That's gonna miss. No.
18.
So yeah, that's
18.
You're gonna miss.
Yeah.
What?
18 misses?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Wait, is that with bless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
it's doing. He's
+4 for the bless, and then -5 for the great weapon.
So
okay.
You rolled and. Jesus
Christ. Had you rolled just a regular attack, that would have hit. What we've mustered is that its armor class is 20, by the way.
I see.
That's it.
What we've.
You kind of
That's my turn.
come in, swing low for the ankle. It kind of clicks against the armor plating. Another large kind of sparked spray. Fiona, you are now within range of the creature. What would you like to do?
I am going to whisper some eldritch stuff in his ear, and hopefully it upsets him.
Let's see what you got. What spell you casting?
Dissonant Whispers.
Ooh, interesting. Go ahead and throw that up for me, because I think there's a condition immunity here, but go ahead.
No! Ugh, I really hope not.
I think he's still going to take the psychic damage. Yeah, he still takes the psychic damage, but he will not run away. Go ahead and... Let's see. You're casting it at... what level?
Oh, yeah, there should be more. It's third, so...
Okay, so 21.
More
yeah, it's got the
D6
higher lever up. It's already got it up there.
I add the 8.
Yep.
Oh,
It fails to save, so it'll take the 21 points of damage. Very strong hit. You watch as it kind of like starts shaking. What you actually recognize is it's kind of crumbling apart, but also there seems to be kind of like a strange kind of like timbre to it. Like it's responding to the whispers that you're kind of implanting into it. which is a great sign. But you don't watch as it turns and moves heel. It seems to just not concern itself with that frightened condition.
So would she know anything about that?
Um,
Why it wouldn't be frightened?
Yeah, you would note that it's not. It's typically not affected by. Well, this one doesn't even say anything about fear. Hold on a second. Let me read. On a failed save, it takes uses its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows from you. The creature doesn't move into obviously dangerous ground, such as a fire or a pit. It also wouldn't move through opportunity attacks. Yeah. Yeah, so it wouldn't move. It wouldn't move through threatened areas, I don't think. Well, that's actually I'm gonna go with it does move. Yeah.
Okay.
So Alva, you do not get an opportunity attack. And neither do you, Hezrod, but Avrin, you would.
Wait, why is this?
And
I
think I accidentally did damage to you, Alva, on that last attack.
Oh, yeah. Ow.
Can you go ahead and gain 21 back, and I'll go ahead and take it off the token. The right token.
You got
Oh, do I
11.
not gain an
Yeah, it's a miss.
opportunity attack because I already used one?
No, because I didn't move out of your threatened space. I'm still next to you.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
All right. Yeah. So it doesn't say. I thought Dissonance Whispers, if they were immune to frightened condition, they didn't care. I was wrong. So yeah,
It's the deafened thing is immune.
yeah, it's not deafened. That's not accurate. I always thought it was a fear thing, but apparently I was incorrect. That's fine. Yeah, it moved away. Its full speed, which was 15, yeah, that's where it lives now. No
Cool.
bonus actions or movement for you, Fiona.
Movement actually. Now that it's moved away, I'm gonna follow it. So I'm gonna go
On the cliff.
Yeah, on the cliff. So I'm gonna go 30 feet this away.
Perfect. Hezrod.
He's gonna attempt to move onto it, and as he does, he casts Cure Wounds on himself.
Okay. Athletics or acrobatics.
Not proficient in either, but
Yeah. You keep on trying to follow up on Alva, but he's apparently got a grace you do not possess. No movement.
and then Cure Wounds.
Okay. And that'd basically be it, unless you have a bonus action.
No. Usually I'd Shillelagh, but I use an axe now.
Perfectly fine. Alright, so I've got a lot going on this turn. So here we go. First things first, I'm going to sweep. Hold on. Yep. Okay. I need Avren, Eric, and Hezrod to make dexterity saving throws.
Okay, good job, Eric.
Ooh. No, that's really good. That's really flavorful. I like that.
Just nat 20 and crit plus. Just 29.
No. That's really flavorful, and I think I can do something with that. Roll me a D100, though. I want to give it another percentage chance. Give me a D100, Gavin. Yep, okay.
40.
So, ignoring Chad, basically what happens is the chain whip that it has flares out and kind of smacks into Avrin and kind of extends outwards towards Eric. As you see it coming, instead of just ducking, you kind of move off to the side, causing it to kind of move forward and extend the chain whip, causing it to wrap it around this pillar instead. It's now bound to that pillar, and it seems to be kind of rearing. You hear the underneath your feet, Alva, as it's pulling on that chain. You can see the stone structure holding for the time being, but it seems to be locked in that position. Also, because it's currently restrained, it will have disadvantage on its attacks, which are now going to be made against Hezrod, and it gets a free attack against anything on top of it. So Hammer Fist and Sweeping Axe against Hezrod, disadvantage.
I rolled a 17 on my dex save. Is that
You don't
okay?
need to make one. because it didn't make it to
sick.
you. It caught on the column.
Like it just like the chain. I could
Eric-
see the line you drew. The chain stopped like right in front of
No,
Hezrod's.
didn't even
face.
make it there. It stopped at Eric. Eric moved in a way that it caught on that column that he's near. Sorry, thank you. Damage for
this
you
one.
would have been 19 points of slashing damage, or piercing damage. Averin. And then the hammer fist is a miss, and the axe hand is a 17 hit. Hezrod?
17 hits.
Okay. That was disadvantage, by the way. So yeah, you're not prone, so it'll just be 13 slashing damage.
Fury Shield.
Give it. For Fury Shield is a spell in Gathering Magic. As a reaction, 3rd level spell. Basically, he becomes immune to the attack's damage and reflects it back on the target. Only for melee attacks. So it'll take the 13 instead. But because its weapons attacks are not magical, and the spell is just transferring the damage to him, he's actually resistant to his own damage.
Every time I use this spell.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It helped.
All right. And then the free attack against the current writer up top. Oh yeah, that definitely works.
Even with disadvantage?
Yeah. I got a
darn.
29 on the primary attack, which is a crit, and I got a 25 on the secondary roll. You're only taking 10 though, and it's piercing damage. And basically what happens is spikes kind of jet out of its back, kind of like razorback, kind of out. You watch as she kind of floats over it and kind of lands like behind you in between spikes, but you kind of slash, one kind of slashes through like, you know, the foot or leg area. It's done. Go already, or you're up.
So we are going to cast Sacred Flame on this bad bitch. So
Dex
that's
saving throw failed. Go ahead and give me the damage.
7.
All
And
lucky
then, yeah. And then we're also going to do Mass Healing Word
7. Okay.
as well.
60 feet, so I think that gets all of your companions.
Yep. And
yeah.
that is...
Should be a D4 plus your wisdom modifier plus life bonus, which is
Yeah.
plus 5. Because Mass Healing Word's 3rd level, right?
Hold on. Yes.
Okay.
So 1d4 plus...
5 plus your wisdom modifier.
Okay, so
You
My
should be able-
favorite drinking
that's
buddy.
8. So 10
Okay.
for
Cool,
each.
cool. Everybody gets 10 back. That is wounded and within 60 feet of Golradier.
Which should be everyone.
Alva, you're atop it.
Thank you.
Your advantage is expended, by the way. So just regular attacks here.
Okay.
Well, isn't it restrained?
I was gonna say, is it still restrained?
Yes, it is still restrained. Thank you. Advantage is up. Yes, you have advantage on the attack.
I attack Storm.
Okay.
Attack Norm. I know the feeling. I play Barbarian.
You said normally, but it looks like you
Oh,
got
no.
the penalty there. It still misses. 19 will miss.
Wait,
You're
Advantage will be
blessed.
22.
You're blessed. Roll a d4.
Advantage
Actually,
would
don't
make it
roll a
22.
d4. You have advantage. It hits. Yes, blessed hits. You hit. Deal damage. All of the things you deal, you hit.
Deal the damage, boy.
Hit it.
All right. If you want to go ahead and go and do a descriptor as to how you defeat it. If not, I'll go ahead and give one.
Yeah, my fighting style isn't very unique. It's more like brutish, but I suppose in this case, how?
If
No,
you-
I'm from my position. I don't really have a good thing. My fighting style doesn't really lend itself to being on
kind
top
of-
of something.
been swinging your blade down, causing scrapes. You kind of look at it and see as it's kind of moving towards the chain and resisting, it's kind of opened up a bit in the neck. You spin the blade up and kind of just carefully drag it in and then pull upwards and outwards. And as you do so, you hear kind of like a loud kind of pop, and then kind of a sound as the head flies off and lands at the feet of Hezrod. And this massive spray of Vitae fluid kind of smashes everywhere, and the whole thing underneath you just starts to descend downwards towards the sand. And you can see that she's kind of floating behind you, but you're kind of holding onto your sword that's still locked into that spot as it slams into the ground, and everyone's just kind of watching as it just hits the ground, kind of breaks a bit, and splatters. And that's a successful defeat of a Axiom. Good call.
Yay, we did it.
Go
We
team!
did.
Go
Hezrod
team.
goes ahead and just like hacks his axe into the head.
He just like,
Well, as you kind of look to the head,
Stay dead.
as you kind of look to the head, it's kind of splayed out. You notice that it popped open as it hit the ground, Hezrod, and kind of sitting inside where a brain would be, or like, where, like a spot where a brain would be inside of a skull, you see this really strange looking doll made out of cloth, like almost like a, well, actually it's made out of wood and cloth. It looks like it's just like a really strange kind of doll.
He reaches in and like kind of pulls it out.
Yeah, it looks like it's just kind of inert, not really moving, strange looking. It's kind
Yeah,
of
he like does one of these, like he kind of makes the doll dance a little bit, and he's just looking at it weirdly, like he doesn't understand what it is.
it clacks a bit.
Hey.
It's made out of wood. You would note that it's kind of got like a blonde hair wig and like a little like dress and kind of button eyes and just like a nice polished white wood kind of yew wood kind of frame. And you're kind of holding it in your hand. It's kind of covered with the Vitae fluid, and as you kind of pull it out, you can notice that the back of it seems to have been connected inside of the head by strange wires that are filled with that fluid.
He like shakes it off to get most of the liquid or whatever off of it,
You have a doll.
and he holds it up, and he like waves at Fiona, and he says, "Fiona, I found something weird."
Just she just sighs deeply and starts descending the cliff.
Probably muttering something under her breath.
yeah.
Absolutely.
That loud combat did not seem to cause anything inside to cause any attention, but the construct lays defeated. I'm assuming that Fiona will go and inspect the doll, and Chad, you would have spent your turn kind of, or your immediate after the fight action kind of dealing with that. Alva, you're atop it, pulling the sword out. Oh, did he step away?
Looks like it.
Okay, then we'll get back to him in a second. Eric, you're kind of positioned. The chain's still linked to that column.
Yeah, I'll just walk up. I'm gonna walk up. I'll walk up to it, sort of running a hand along the chain and looking at it as like, oh, you're gonna try something. Oh well. So does anyone explain what this is? Please.
Fiona casually explains it.
Well, you see, they stole someone's soul and bound it to this metal construct, and now you have this.
She kind of nudges the head with her toe.
Is this okay? Was it like a willing bonding, or is it like half necromancy?
Half necromancy?
It wouldn't be.
Or full, or yeah, it was basically was this like a willing? Is this like a willing? Is this something that's like someone would willing to take part in, or is it like, hey, you're doing this, we don't give a shit?
No way to tell.
Yeah, I don't think Fiona would just kind of shake her head and actually look over toward Avran and say,
If you are who you say you are, have you seen this before?
Have I?
No.
No.
I mean,
her gaze.
You've seen big robots. Conglomerate are known for them, but you haven't really paid attention to the aftermath.
Her gaze flicks over to the small purple girl and says,
Have you?
This is a Untitled. I am casually familiar with them. This is one of the larger ones I've seen. But it seems that your capable skills were more than enough to set it back, lay it low. I highly doubt that the conglomerate was taking willing subjects when they crafted this thing, she says to Eric.
I'm sorry, but that was very quiet. I couldn't hear you.
I doubt that this was a willing subject.
Okay, the second she hears that, she's going to take the doll from Hezrod and take her dagger and sever the head from its body.
Okay. Doing so, you would realize that the interior of the doll is filled with the same kind of red fluid that the larger construct, was filled with. That would denote to you that this doll was in itself an undaunted, a construct created from living matter, or living soul.
As she takes it from Hezrod's hand and then like immediately cuts its head off, he kind of like rocks back on his heels, like he was not expecting that. Like this kind of just like, savage violence is just so out of character from what he's seen from Fiona before that he just was not expecting that at all.
It was rad though.
Well, she's an Osirian. What can I say? We don't fuck with the undead.
We don't fuck with death mess around these.
So she just kind of, after severing the head, she gives one piece back to Hezrod and keeps the head for herself.
Okay. Yeah. Looking around the area, you can kind of tell that some of the breaks in the stone appear to have been from this thing. You can see areas near the doors that look like creatures, wildlife, or what have you, tried to make its way into the cavern proper and were defeated by this thing prior. It definitely looks like up until this point it served well, but the door to the temple appears open to you.
Eric's just randomly speaking. I wonder what happened to the people that came here before us in that auto carriage. They clearly didn't have to fight us, or else we wouldn't have had to fight it ourselves.
Well, if both are the conglomerate, then probably wouldn't have needed to.
That's a good point. That is a good point.
Fiona will start kind of rating the corpse in a very almost scientific way, trying to see if there's any other pieces. Specifically, she's gonna try to find those eye gem things.
Sure, the eye gems are up top, so they're actually up above you. That kind of strange stone stuff up here is where those are located.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And they're inert now. They don't seem to be moving at all. They appear to have been bound to this thing that's now destroyed.
So is Fiona like trying to like pry this thing open to like look at its insides?
Yes.
Okay. She's not the strongest individual, so Hezrod's gonna help her with that.
If you take some time dissecting it, you'll note that it's very fundamentally built, but very essentially and very sturdily built. The presumption is that it was linked to the eyes, the eye stones up above, and it wasn't actually seeing you or looking at you the entire time it was fighting you. It was watching you from the stones above.
Interesting. She'll point at them and note that and say,
Can someone give me a lift? I want to see if I can grab one of those stones.
Yeah, Hezrod will hang his axe on his back and then kind of like put his hands together like he's ready to give her a boost.
Yeah, it's a ways up, quite a ways up. It will definitely require some finagling, some maneuvering to get up there. But yeah, I would say if you spend some time at it, maybe 20 or 30 minutes or so, you manage to get one of those eye stones for Fiona and bring it back down. It's about 4 feet tall, about 1.5 feet wide, probably about 6 inches deep, and it's kind of beveled outwards with kind of a flat back. When you pull it out of the stone, it kind of pulls out pretty easily, but there's kind of like a kind of sound as it kind of is pretty securely in there, but easily removable. The stone itself, inside of the stone, it's actually more of a glass than anything else. But looking it over, you can see that inside there's kind of star-crossed patterns inside, which would have denoted to you that someone took Residuum and cast a conjuration or cast a enchantment or enhancement on the glass. So whatever magic was present is now inert, and the Residuum is wasted.
So those stones added recently to the temple?
It looks like they were, yeah. Or
Okay, so
they were present and they were updated.
So trying to piece if the conglomerate that are inside, if they brought the Nectalobe with them, or if it was already here and they just knew like a password to get past it or something.
Good question.
Fiona is definitely the person to ask those questions to.
Yeah, you wouldn't know for sure. You'd need to see more of the inside to be sure.
Well,
Hezrod is going to use Harness Divine Power and drink his healing potion.
Okay.
Which
Anyone
I
else
believe
want
is
to do anything?
2d4 plus 2.
I would say if you weren't doing any kind of ripping apart or anything, you could have probably in this amount of time, because there was some climbing and whatnot, taken a short rest. This would mainly be for Golridir, Averin, and Alvin, since they weren't really doing anything. Oh, and Eric.
Don't benefit me
Yeah.
any, but I guess.
Don't be.
Actually, no. Actually, can I just look around the? Can I just look around the entrance of the door? Just
Yeah, sure.
have just as like general, just like a general investigation check to see if I just
It's a
notice
tunnel.
anything interesting.
It goes on for some time. You can see that, strangely enough, in this tunnel there appears to be a little bit of grass that seemed to grown inside. And further at the back of it, you can see what appears to be a portal way that's kind of broken up, but you can't see much past that because the light doesn't really kind of come in deep enough for you to see more than that.
Sorry,
the
I'm
light is
actually not going to drink my healing potion on points that I thought.
Okay.
Remember, Golridir also has 2 healing potions as well. Still.
Okay.
after Fiona concerned herself with the
Thing.
with the stone, she will pointedly look inside of this cavern and see what she can see.
Yeah, it's a passageway that leads into the temple proper, the inner cloister. And if you want, we can go ahead and move to that point. If you want to ascend in or continue into the temple.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what
Yeah.
Okay.
I sort of like to do.
Hold on. Shifting. So, as I mentioned, there's a bit of grass in the passageway that kind of leads up to a door. The door that you see is broken, laying kind of asunder on the ground. The more astute of you would note that it's a frame, it's not an actual door. It looks like there was probably wood settled inside of these kind of these metal bars, but over time it's kind of weathered away and rotted out. You can see a couple more doors. These are actually wood that seems to have maintained a door to the left and a door to the right, directly in front of you, that look like they have also been broken out. On the left side and the right side of the chamber, you can see that there are 2 doors that are closed and locked. The door on the left is covered with markings and appears to have wood panels that have been barred over it. In a very strategic fashion that might allow for someone to remove those bars with ease, but certainly it would bar whatever's inside of it from getting out. And then the door on the right seems to have a metal bar that's been placed down over it. I need a perception check from Golridir as you enter in.
Okay. Doot. Perception 17.
Your elvish keenness denotes that there is a secret door on the right side of this room, somewhere around here-ish.
That would definitely catch his attention, and he'd go over to inspect it a bit closer.
Okay, you can make an investigation check if you want to call someone over to help you. You can.
Does anyone have higher
Fiona.
investigation than 2? Fiona, join me.
So if you want Fiona to take the lead and you help her, basically pointing out where you think it is, Fiona, you
Yeah.
can go ahead and make the investigation check, and you have advantage.
Could you take a look at this here? Pointing to it.
You're not saying anything.
Muted.
No audio.
We're having
Oh,
there it is.
not.
There we go.
Okay, I'm back. Ooh, okay, investigation.
23.
Level it.
Yeah, you find that there is a door here, and there's a very simple kind of placement for the hand, which would allow you to kind of push the door open or pull the door open. If you were on the other side, it's a push mechanic. But a very simple secret door that's been placed here. Do you want to push the door open?
For doing so, she will detect magic and see if it looks like there's anything glowing from it.
Do you look at only it, or do you look around the room?
She will cast her gaze around the room as well.
There's magic in the north left side of the room. You can see that there's an aura of what appears to be abjuration magic. I should have said blue. Kind of over in that corner. And you're smart enough to understand, too, that you can see the silver strings kind of placed around that area. You would denote that that specific space, like around that door, is marked with an alarm spell.
Okay, she will immediately call out to the rest and Eric, who looks like he's creeping forward.
Everyone stop. There is a spell of warning to the northwest.
She'll kind of point over into that area and kind of narrow her eyes at Eric and say,
I was like,
Everyone stay in the entrance until me and Golradir have cleared things, okay?
I wasn't going any further. But I most certainly shall stand still now.
A likely story.
Again, she sighs deeply and goes back to the door.
Okay, so you're opening the door on the right side?
The secret one, yes.
Okay. And as you do so, it kind of makes a loud kind of, not super loud, but loud enough kind of rumble. Hold on a second here. There we go. Inside, you see a small stool and kind of like little alcove, a kind of recess. You see a wizard wearing kind of blue robes and red robes underneath, holding a book, kind of looking at it. And as the door opens, he kind of looks up and goes, "Huh? Huh? Huh?" And you can see on his kind of attire the double snake symbols of the conglomerate wizards. And he looks like he's very alarmed.
Okay, Fiona will make her cloak take on the shape of what his cloak has, that symbol.
How are you doing this?
Cloak of many fashions.
No relation to the spell alarm.
Oh, I see what's happening. You're talking through Zoom.
Oh! Sorry, I unmuted the wrong thing.
It's okay.
Okay, back to where I should be speaking.
No worries. It's okay.
It happens.
So, I would say that at this stage, as you open the door and he is absolutely not ready, Fiona, Golradir, Avrin, and Hezrod, since you were kind of focused on the secret door, you can go ahead and take a surprise round. Alva, since you were kind of like keeping middle ground, I'm going to say that you're kind of like back line. And since Eric, you were kind of looking forward. Yeah, you see the door open and you're kind of like, huh? Kind of as surprised as the dude inside.
I'm just picturing shooting fireball.
This probably won't take long, but we're going to go up a throw on an initiative tracker anyway. You definitely caught me with my pants down. Let's go ahead and...
Caught him with his pants down.
Is he on the porcelain throne?
No.
Or I guess in this case the stone throne?
No.
Is that what this tiny room is?
No, it's not.
This is a secret bathroom.
This appears to be kind of like a watch room for a guard.
Well, he clearly was not doing his job.
Apparently, it's mostly focused on the alarm part.
Well, there's a roll. I know they're not doing anything.
Well, we caught him on alarm.
So, can you use a surprise round to ready an action?
So, a surprise round is no different than a regular turn.
It's a full. It's a full.
It's
It's
just
a full turn.
It's not technically called a surprise round. It's the first round of combat, and the wizard has the surprise condition. And so, surprise condition means he just doesn't do anything. The same will be true for Eric. The same will be true for Alva. Okay, everybody's rolled.
Sorry, Hezrod has not. But I'm gonna use my surprise round to ready an action to cast Eldritch. Oh wait,
roll initiative.
Okay.
Yeah,
got you. Sorry.
It's okay.
Because one of you might kill him first.
It'll actually go to you first, so go ahead and take your turn as you were describing.
Cowabunga it is!
Whatever you're doing.
I mean,
What are you doing?
fuck it. Ah! Charges in with his axe.
Okay.
Swing it.
I can't get through the door, but I'm going in.
You're in.
Yeah. He jumps past everybody, axe raised above his head, and just fucking brings it down.
Okay. Give me that attack. Well, you have advantage.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is about to be amazing.
Yeah. Are you doing
Like-
anything else with that?
I mean,
You got-
no.
No,
Just-
you got the crit plus an extra 2d6 because you rolled in that 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that extra 2d6 get doubled?
No. It's 2d6 for the axe. It's not anything double.
Okay, that's fine. So we're looking at 11 plus
2d6.
2d6. So
Okay.
17 total.
Yeah, takes the brunt of the blow, kind of like falls back in his chair a little bit, but is not dead. Just very well wounded. On his initiative, he's still surprised, but you do see that his hand is reaching for a wand at his hip. Avrin? It looks like you could muscle in
question.
there as well if you wanted to.
Okay, yeah, I was about to ask. Yeah, so he's just gonna try to.
You guys are weird. Why can't you move through the doors?
Okay, he's gonna get in there, I guess.
Yep.
Is there enough room to swing my great sword?
Yeah. There's a 10-foot ceiling. You got a good downward chop.
Oh, neat. Okay. So yeah, he's gonna go for that thing. We're not blessed anymore, but he is gonna take the Great Weapon Master attack.
Okay.
See what happens.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna...
God, bitch.
23
Okay.
minus 5 is...
No!
Oh, it's with advantage.
18. That'll hit.
Oh, neat.
Nice.
Yeah, your damage
Oh, yeah, I had
should be
advantage.
plus 5. Or plus
Oh, no,
10,
it's-
rather. So,
Yeah,
20
so
total.
20.
So 20.
Okay.
20. Slashing down.
Alva, your surprise condition.
Wait, I'm gonna drop a smite.
Oh, go with it.
This guy.
Fuck this wizard.
Smite him!
So 6 more.
6. 26.
He's
total.
bloodied. Just now.
I'm surprised, but can I still do free actions like talk?
Yeah.
Oh.
Take them alive so we can question what the conglomerate are doing in here.
All right, Fiona, you're also
That's
surprise rounding, so you can do something. You're an ambusher.
Yeah, she has kind of the same thought. She's just going to. Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. It's advantage with weapon attacks or any attack?
All attacks advantage.
Ooh. Okay. Should probably. Wait. I'm going to. I don't want to burn him. Actually, yes, I will burn. Ow! I'm gonna stab him.
I
Rush.
like the progression.
So you're rushing forward, stabbing with your dagger.
23.
Stabby,
Yeah.
stabby.
Okay, go ahead and do damage.
Oof.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
That's
And
the
you
might of a
Back
wizard
away.
right
He doesn't take an opportunity attack or anything. And then Eric, you were confused at there being a fight.
What the?
Go over
Just
here.
like, what the? Huh?
My turn?
Yep. Say
Great.
the flame into the box.
Well, do we want to keep him alive?
You can do radiant damage, fire damage, or whatever without killing them. You can say you're going
Okay.
for a glancing blow.
Okay. Then, yeah,
Oh.
Sacred Flame.
Oh, you can non-lethal spells?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Oh, sweet. That's new. for
Well,
me.
I also actually. I have Hold Person
You can do that.
readied.
Okay. Do you want to do that?
Good idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do Hold Person.
Wisdom saving throw, right?
Yes.
It's a wizard, though.
Okay. He failed.
Great.
If you don't want Hezrod to kill him, you might want to say that.
Okay. He stops.
Hezrod down.
He stops moving. Hezrod, you're up.
Get back.
Yeah, he's already like calling the axe back for another
Grabbing.
one, and Growadier's like, Hezrod, no, and he's like, ah.
Hezrod, but Hezrod, yes.
So he's currently paralyzed, so you do have advantage on
Um,
attack rolls made against him.
But we don't want to
Well,
kill him.
since Hezrod has been told not to kill him, he's gonna go ahead and, since he's paralyzed, he's gonna grab the wand that the wizard was reaching for
Okay,
and hand it to Fiona.
that's fine.
Hey.
That's your action, pulling the wand away.
Yes.
All right. It goes to him. He can't do anything, but at the end of his turn, he will make a wisdom saving throw. And he succeeds. You see that movement returns to his fingers. He kind of grips where the wand was, kind of annoyedly looks at Hezrod, and doesn't really do any movement because his turn's over. Avron, it does look like
What you gonna do, bro?
if he gets
What
the
you gonna
opportunity,
do?
he will engage, though.
Can I just like swing the flat end of the great sword
Yeah,
into him so he hits the wall?
perfectly fine. Go ahead. It's going to be a miss.
Okay, that's my turn.
Alva, it definitely seems like whatever's going on in there is happening.
Is this room for one more on top of the garbage?
Yeah, sure. If you want to hop up on the table there in the corner.
Why not?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna kind of run through and then I want to use the bottom of my sword, just like the butt of my sword, and just try to crack him in the forehead,
Okay.
knock him, KO him.
Go ahead, make an attack.
Roll higher than a 5. There
Yeah,
you go.
that'll work. It looks like you went with a -5, so you get plus 10 damage.
That's automatic. I definitely didn't declare it, but
Yeah,
it's
worked.
enough to knock him out. Sure.
It's not. He's still conscious.
25 damage.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's definitely the front guard, so I mean, he's
That's a machine.
a bit higher on the challenge rating there. Fiona, you're up, and a wand has been placed in your hand. You don't know its command word. You'd need to identify it to be able to use it. But you have his wand.
Yeah, she's not gonna bother with trying to decode it, so she'll just, keep it in her other hand, and she's gonna try to knock him prone.
Okay.
She's gonna sapping sting him.
Okay. And that's what saving throw?
I believe it is con.
Okay.
Con 16.
Success. He does not fall over, and he won't take any damage.
Oh, boo hiss. She will not call out, but she will speak in his mind, saying,
Listen, we do not want to kill you, but if you make any noise, we will have to, understood?
Make a wisdom saving throw.
"Me?
Yeah.
For speaking to him? No! No!
R.I.P.
Damn.
He don't like people messing with his head.
You're stunned until the end of your next turn. Not this turn, the next one. And
Oh, shit.
basically, the second you open your mind to go and speak into his mind, you start hearing this, help me, and then you kind of hear like this kind of slithering and kind of battering of tentacles, kind of like assailing your mind, and you kind of, as it kind of like feels like your mind is being kind of grappled by tentacles.
Oh no.
Interesting. Would I get to make any noise as this is happening?
Probably screaming in agony, but no like actual words, of, like
Okay.
noticeable difference. Yeah, they definitely are aware that something's happening there.
Okay, because this absolutely confirms
Eric.
that we shouldn't kill this man.
I
That
didn't skip you
absolutely confirms it.
intentionally, but go ahead and make it. Your turn, Eric.
Okay, I'm gonna walk down and I can't see shit. But
You can say
so
move aside a little bit and then shoot an arrow in if you wanted to.
well, I'm also can't see shit because of the lighting.
Oh, fair.
But
What's happening?
well,
He's
Oh,
he just looks through and you just see him like pull out a dagger and just throw it at the guy.
okay. I
So,
think.
I mean,
Well, that's weird. Go ahead.
actually, what's the range on this?
It's 20 feet.
Well, hold up.
You'll pop forward.
Yeah,
but that's
let
fine.
me-
Go ahead and throw the attack though.
Yeah. He's just gets him and sees Fiona going and he's like, I don't know what happened, but I don't like it. Chuck.
Push her aside and throw the dagger. Yeah, that
Oh,
dagger is
no.
now in the
And,
fine condition. If it's the only dagger you have notated as such,
I actually have two of them.
then one of them's fine, one of them's normal.
Yeah.
Hezrod
Those apart.
or Golradier, sorry, Golradier. Sacred Flame for the knock unconscious.
Yes.
If this makes it back around to the law or the wizard, I'm going to be very confused.
Same.
I mean, I can put a pin in this.
I mean, yeah, you could. Okay, go ahead and give me the Sacred Flame. I failed, so what's the damage?
Okay, so 2d8, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Great. 14.
Nailed
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Okay, good. Jeez Louise. A bolt of
We did
radiance
it.
slams into his head and kind of stuns him out, and he kind of just falls unconscious. He is at 0 hit points, but he's not dead. He's just unconscious. All right.
Hezrod's gonna throw a net over him and kind of just bind him up in the net and then
Sure.
drag him out of the room.
Okay.
Is Fiona still in pain?
Yeah, I
her
was like,
after her turn concludes, she's no longer stunned.
Okay.
Real quick, I'm going to go from right to left because that'll end with Josie, since she'll be kind of the last one able to do anything. Alva, immediately after the conflict, you're standing kind of in a small little like side desk with kind of papers and stuff. There's him. He had a book in his hand. He has a really nice cloak and a seal kind of on his neck. That's the twin snakes, and really nice gloves. But other than that, this room's kind of just barren.
Like something in the desk or anything? Like
Yeah,
no
you kinda
tattered, like no like notes or
You kind of look it
like,
over.
anything.
There's a small green stone, and then there's a bunch of papers, and the papers seem to denote a couple of factors. One states that like the top paper says, "Eyes out, attention, agents from the Moodus region arriving within the 6th day. Allow entrance. If the alarm symbol signals, check them. Then return back to your position."
Oh, so these kind of seem like they're instructions for this guy.
Yep. You also see a note that seems to be kind of like a rubbing of the seal outside that said servitude, a seal to pass, a staff to command. And then there looks like there are kind of notes that have been placed here regarding animals that have entered in, and it seems to refer to them being dispatched by the Axiom.
The Axiom was the big robot, right?
Presumed, yeah, that's what you would presume it would be, yeah.
And then his main book was his personal spellbook, or
No, his spell book is on his person.
okay, because you said he had a book.
Yeah, he was
and then there
reading
was some
a book,
notes.
but that's
Oh.
his spell book. The book that he was reading, do you pick it up and check it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to
Sure.
get all the information.
Absolutely. No, perfect. All right. The book in question appears to be titled Halls of Fury. And I'll go ahead and give that out to you folks now, which is in the lore section, and happens to be a story from the olden days. That should have clicked show to players. I don't know if it worked. Did it work?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see it.
Yeah, it didn't pop up for me, but I'm. Oh,
Oh,
there it is.
oh, I just did. It's slow.
Took a second, yeah. All right. Chad, what's Hezrod doing immediately after the conflict? Like I said, nice cloak, nice gloves, seal on his like around his neck. The chair he was sitting in is kind of cracked and broken a bit from all the blows and attacks that have been made against him. He's kind of breathing heavily, but is not awake. You said you were binding him with a net?
Yeah, I was throwing my net over him and dragging him out of the room.
I say you could do one little thing besides that.
I'll rip the cloak off of him, and Hezrod like just throws it on himself.
Okay.
Like much like the cloaks we had before, it's just sort of like draped over him, and he's not like.
This is actually
wearing it.
surprisingly well fitting. It like when you put it on, it feels right. It's kind of this weird series of kind of like triangular like things that kind of hang off of you, but it feels good. And yeah, you
look at that.
pull his unconscious stupid face out into the open air.
Yeah. Like Hezrod's getting a dash of class.
Yeah, it's kind of like an ultramarine blue. It's very nice, well crafted. No markings or anything crazy, but pulling it off, you would be able to see the seal a bit more now, and his gloves. But let's see, what is Golradir doing immediately in the aftermath?
I'm stuck in the room.
Probably just checking on Fiona
Okay.
because she is screaming.
Yeah, she would basically be ending that process now, but
Yeah.
she definitely seems to have some kind of mental kind of awkwardness.
Hmm.
All right.
But he would just be checking on her.
Avrin?
First, everyone's gonna cast light on his greatsword, so I can see. He's probably gonna take the wizard's book, and then probably his spell book.
Sure. It's on his hip.
Yeah, so he can't cast. At least that's
Not how it works.
how
but yeah.
everyone thinks it works.
Sure.
Yeah, he's gonna take the spell book and the book, and put the book in his backpack.
Well, the book was taken by Alva.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So Alva's
Okay.
kind of looking it over, and
So yeah, he's just gonna take the spell book then,
fair.
and
And Eric?
probably gonna walk up.
Yeah, I'm sort of at a loss.
Okay.
I don't really have anything in mind.
And last but not least, you kind of snap out of the strange state there, Fiona. And what would you like to do in response? You definitely feel like it wasn't his mind that was connecting with you. You feel like there's another mind
Yeah.
present here that seems to have connected with you.
Yeah, the second she felt those tentacles, she felt like a very chilled sense, and immediately turned to Umasath and says, "Is there any way to break whatever hold they have on this poor man?"
She kind of stands behind Alva and kind of peeks out a little bit to look at you, and then points at the door across the hall.
She nods once and turns to Gordir and says, "We were right not to kill him. This man is suffering. It's not his fault. All I know is that there's something horrible controlling him." And she'll move toward where that girl pointed.
Yep. The
Is the alarm spell dispelled now that since we knocked this guy out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What
It's
spell?
just about
The alarm
the
spell?
alarm.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. It's still up.
But I mean, there's no one to really go to the alarm spell that we know of right
You're
now.
presuming it's his. I mean, he's not dead,
Yeah.
so it's not gone. Alarm doesn't work like it's not a concentration spell.
Mm.
Yeah,
But so sorry, I don't. Is it like when alarm goes off? Is it going to be like a fire alarm, or is it more like he gets pinged? Would get
it
pinged in his head?
depends.
It depends on how he cast it.
It could
Oh,
be a
no.
sensor.
It
Yeah.
could be, yeah, it could be giant, loud, bah, or it could be like a, oh hey, someone's here silently in your head.
Yep. To the door, Fiona, you kind of move over to it, and you see that there's kind of bars that have been put in place. Could be easily removed from this side, but it looks like it would be very hard for anything on the other side to make it through. There are markings all over the door, which appear to be draconic runes. You realize that they are more kind of vestigial than actually kind of functional. And you would also note that there is a warning that has been placed at the kind of center of the chamber. And it states, caution, inside rests the connector. Muted.
You're muted.
Muted. Unmute in Discord.
Oh, nuts! I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
She'll. I really feel like a 90-year-old woman. Anyway,
It's fine.
she'll kind of like shake her head with just so much disappointment. This is the worst day of her life, and say, "I think whatever's controlling them is beyond these gates. It's known as the connector. Does that ring any bells?" She'll look at Avran.
we're all thinking everyone to just magically go poof.
Do you want to pop the door open?
She'll turn to the rest and before popping it open say, "I think this is the only way to help that poor man, but I don't know. I don't want to be the first person in, so does anyone else want to?"
I'll do it.
Eric, no, never mind.
Okay.
Just for flavor, Eric and Aaron both walk up at the same time, then Eric backs up.
Hezrod
So
will totally join Avran.
Avran,
before
if you can-
Fiona follows, she will turn to Umasath and get down on her level and speak as softly as she can to her. She's too afraid to speak into her mind. But as softly as she can, she'll say, "The thing above me, do you think it will be affected by that?"
No, I think you misunderstand the situation. Hopefully everything will be laid bare. And Avrin kind of pulls the blockades away. As he opens up the chamber, on the far wall away from you, you see a gaunt, kind of purple-fleshed creature chained to the wall with a crown with barbs that have been placed into its head. Looking at its head, it looks like its entire just top head is nothing more than a cephalopod with 4 tentacles. At the edges of those tentacles, you can see what appear to be kind of barbed blades that have been connected at the tips of the tentacles. There are a number of kind of artifices around the eyes and areas of its face. And its fingers, it appears to only have 3 fingers and a thumb for each hand. You're not familiar with this creature, but as you kind of open the door, its eyes kind of flutter open, white kind of eyes set inside of its kind of sunken skull, kind of looks over in your direction, and it stares at you. Its tentacles kind of raise up a bit, revealing like a lamprey-like mouth, and it kind of moves it.
This is hard for me to do.
And it speaks verbally to you.
Please.
Does it
Free me.
does he look like he's in pain?
He looks like he is gaunt, has not been fed for some time. Looks like he is in a bad state of it, to be sure. As you kind of look inside, you would see a pile of like refuse, and inside of it, a body. The back of the body is displayed, and you would notice that the back of its head is a completely opened, just empty hollow. Like someone just ripped out the back of his head and sucked out its brain.
Nice. Fiona.
Fuck.
Fuck this shit out. Nope.
I need an adult.
Fiona.
Go ahead.
I know most of us probably know what it is, but like in this, so are mind flayers common enough knowledge that like
They're not.
they're pretty
Oh,
very rare?
They're very rare.
don't know
Yeah.
anything.
I was just thinking like we all know what it is, but we don't
Uh,
know what it is in game.
What
You guys
is
kinda
this
hear,
creature?
A heavy clunk of metal hit the floor as like Al just lets his sword drop to the floor and he spits on the ground and says, "Aberration."
Yeah,
Put
Hezrod
it out of
like
its misery.
pokes his head around the corner and he just says,
That is the ugliest octopus I have ever seen.
Can I just like push past Avern into the room?
Yeah. No,
I was trying to move into the
Yeah,
room, but I can't.
But
Oh.
yeah, there's a barrier there.
Sorry, this map is goofily made. I get it.
It's okay.
Oh,
So
shit.
Yeah, Avern was gonna be like next to the body, whichever area it's in. I'm
yeah, that'd be
assuming.
there. There are also more
Yeah,
down on the south side as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
there's a
going-
bunch.
Yeah,
Great.
probably about 4
Oh,
or
shit.
5.
Nice.
I'll just be in the middle.
Yeah, no, Fiona. Fiona.
Okay. Well, Fiona hears and then sees this and hears his plea and turns to Umaseth once more and says,
By free, do you think we should actually free them or free them from this realm?
She kind of like lowers her attention. I have made a lot of choices in my life. This ordeal is not for me to decide. You ask a lot of me. If you want me to engage, a lot needs to be laid bare to those that you keep company with. Be careful what you ask for here. But perhaps that which assailed you wasn't as you thought it was. Perhaps instead it was a plea for help. In the only way that it knew how to.
Can everyone try to talk to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can succeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to have a hard time because it's not terribly fluent and its mouth isn't made for this kind of talk.
Shit.
just while all this is happening, Eric is just pulling out his short sword and is just gauging the creature's reaction. If he's like scared or just like
It doesn't seem to be able to see you. You would actually note that the eyes are white blind. Like, it does not seem to be able to see.
Oh.
Are
Okay,
you friend or foe?
These words are meaningless.
Do you intend to do this to us? Harm us?
I doubt I could.
Fiona points to Hezrod and says,
Did they do this to you?
Wait, to Hezrod?
Hezrod's cape. She'll point to the symbol on it and say, did the men in these capes do this to you?
Mages. Mages.
And then it says in the speak of deep speech, mages.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think because of what Avran is, he's going to. I think Avran would most likely free this creature.
Okay. So you would note that the shackles appear to be very well fastened to the creature. You're pretty certain that you could cleft the chains that are kind of holding it up with your blade if you want to take a swag at it.
Yeah.
I just need 2 attack rolls, and if you roll a 1, your weapon... You still do the deed, but your weapon will get worse.
Okay. Let's 2 regular attacks.
Okay. Good. And good. Yeah, you break the chains with little effort. It kind of drops, and you can see that it's like hitting the floor pretty suddenly. Once it's freed, it kind of like tries to scoop itself off of the floor. It's scrambling like, someone who hasn't walked for some time, and it's trying to gain its footing. It kind of, like, as you're trying to help, kind of bats your hand away, and then kind of reaches its hands up, kind of grabs the artifice on its head, and kind of starts peeling it off of its flesh with kind of a nasty kind of pop. And you can see that blood trickles down from where it was kind of bound into its head. Drops that on the ground with like a loud clatter. And then as it's breathing heavily, you can see that its form is rising independently of like physical action. And then it starts floating, feet off of the ground, kind of before you.
I do require sustenance. Are any of my prison guards still about?
There's a mage.
Lead me to it.
Were you the one controlling him?
I doubt it.
Controlling.
If you kind of look out the door and give the creature any idea of where it might have been, it just kind of floats towards the door, sees it, and very kind of hurriedly floats towards it, descending down upon it like a ravenous dog. You watch its tentacles slap onto the back of its head, rear the neck with a snapping pop, place the lamprey mouth onto the back of its head, and just consume
Was this
the mage's brain.
Oh, no, sorry. Hezrod was as they were talking to it, Hezrod walked over to the mage.
Yeah, Avrin basically was kind of denoting that it was out there, and the conversation was over for the creature. I haven't eaten in a long time, so if you're getting over to the mage and picking it up, basically it's grabbing it out of your hands and latching onto it. You're right.
Well,
you're right there for the carnage.
Yeah, I would have pulled all the rest of the fancy looking stuff
Okay,
off of him.
as its brain is being sucked, you're kind of like peeling the gloves off its hands. It's just...
Yeah, he's just
wait, let me take this. Hold on.
Yeah, like watch the net. Watch the net. There you go.
Perfect. Perfect.
Wait, don't lift this tentacle. I need to get this piece of the net out, please.
It kind of drops the body down.
Slightly cold, but enough. I think I can make my way back to Redagorda. You have been most helpful.
Renacorda, does that word ring any bells?
No. It's gibberish.
I don't think any of us know that.
Renagorda?
Rade Corda.
As it moves about the room, Hezrod wants to put himself between this thing and the rest of the group.
Yeah. It kind of floats over the body, just kind of letting it fall to the ground after consuming. Looks to you.
I think I have the capability now to continue my journey on from this place and never return. I have no boon to offer you. No favor I can grant you for your benevolence. I can tell you this. That which they guard here drew our attention. I, Zabrik, was sent here to investigate. I was met by
What?
ambush. These mages are tricky. Be warned. If you continue your path through this place, what they guard is very dire. Whatever it happens to be. Our master wishes to see it, but they wish more to guard it. Be prepared.
What can you tell us about the thing they guard?
She who lurks in darkness. A portalway to her and her presence. She who tempts. Quite fitting. They would send me because of it. Demons. Grand demons. Principalities reside within. Or at least tethers. Be mindful. These mages are very cunning.
Hezrod looks at the now dead mage and like the ruin that this creature has made of its head. And then he kind of looks at it a second and like sizes it up for a moment, and then he says,
Be on your way, and safe travels.
If you ever find yourself in the Icefang Mountains of Motus, seek out Radacorda. Tell them Zabrik is your ally, and you will not be consumed.
You watch as he kind of places his hands out in front of him, and you see kind of a silver string appear between his hands, and he grasps it and kind of pulls it asunder. And as he's kind of pulling it, it doesn't break, it just kind of stretches taut, and he vanishes.
Was the ice something mountains?
Icefang Mountains
Icefang mountains.
of the Mutis region, which has been mentioned once already tonight. That's where the
Nice.
honor bound come from. Okay. Yeah, so
We got a friend.
if you do a quick kind of just perception on these items that he had, you can very quickly kind of glean what they are if you're trained in Arcana and kind of understand what they will require. The cloak is a cloak of protection. The gloves are gloves of thievery. And the wand is a wand of magic missile.
Nice.
Would magic
Um,
missile use intelligence?
Magic missile will use the wand's stats. So
Okay.
but
Cool.
it doesn't really matter because it hits automatically and does
yeah,
predetermined
it does the
damage.
wand's stats. So it'll just be a first level casting of it.
Hey, yo, Elizabeth, do you want a
Yeah.
heavy damage spell? Do you want the wand?
I think. Let me
Uh-huh.
double
Yeah.
check wand of magic missile. I think it's
Should be
limited
3d4.
to certain classes. Let me double check.
Likewise, I mean, does anybody have any sort of? I mean, Hezrod could
Oh.
always use more armor class. He's kind of lightly armored.
Any one of you could use the wand of magic missile, actually.
Wow.
You sort yeah, Eric sort of just like instinctually reaches out and grabs the gloves of thievery.
All right. That makes sense.
Mine.
I mean,
And
it
you just
probably,
look, well, not so much like oh hey, never mind. He just like slowly like not like just slowly kind of just.
I mean,
like,
Eric
looks
seems
him
like the
over.
natural choice. I don't think anybody else is proficient in thieves' tools.
Oh wait, okay.
As of right now, as of the
Jersey,
moment,
so-
he's never said that either.
Oh dang.
But yes.
Oh, fair. I mean, that was definitely an out of character comment.
She keeps on muting in Zoom.
I
It's so
assumed.
great.
But yeah, I mean, if nobody has any qualms or complaints, Hezrod could use the extra AC.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Swords our tank.
Alva, since you've been kind of listening to them and whatnot, you've also been paying attention to the surroundings, keeping an eye out, making sure no one's kind of ascending upon you or anything. You can see that the silver wire of the spell to the left is pretty noticeable. You're pretty sure that if you tried carefully, you might be able to break the spell without activating it. And then the passageway to the right looks like it is clear. There's no magical bindings or whatnot. But obviously they would protect something that's more interesting than what's on the right, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, if I can dispel the alarm, whether I don't know, can I cut the line with a magic sword or something? Is that?
Yeah, you can go ahead and make a dexterity only check, or sleight of hand if you have it trained, to try and break the silver line. DC is pretty low. Yep, you all kind of hear like a kind of sound, like a little bit of a tss, as you kind of look over to Umasath and Alva seems to have broken the alarm spell.
Hi.
And there aren't any sirens blaring, so presumably he did it well enough to not activate it.
And that was to the right?
To the left.
To the left.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
There's nothing protecting the right side.
Yep, completely open.
Presume whatever things of value are beyond the alarm spell.
Yeah.
Alright. Everyone
Oh.
will start walking.
I just realized we're still going with the
Oh.
outside music, not the inside music.
Well, is Eric,
It's alright.
as everyone's doing, Eric just after looking over, he's like, "Does anyone want to hold on to these?"
The gloves?
Yeah.
Oh no, just assume you've got them. That's fine.
Oh no! I'm just
Uh,
saying this. I'm just saying all this in character, just for whatever flavor. And stuff.
Okay.
No, you're fine. You can take them.
Yeah.
Squabbling over
Hezrod
trinkets
says-
is boring.
They'll look good on you.
Good thing, but too bad I ain't gonna be wearing it. He just puts them in his back.
While we're traveling,
Says that
I'm gonna,
now.
I'm gonna take Alva to the side and I'm gonna tell him, I'm sorry for leaving the aberration to its own devices, but I felt it might have been better to let it walk or float.
Oh,
I'm not here to question your decisions, only to assist whatever you think is best. Even if I don't agree with them, I'll still support you.
Thank you.
the thing that whatever that creature was had on its head
Yeah.
that it pulled off and like kind of threw on the ground, is that still there?
Yeah, you can take it.
Yeah, he picks it up and looks at it.
It's an iron crown that's kind of wrought iron black and kind of with like barbs that pierce downwards. There's still bits of the creature on it.
Really?
Yeah, he's kind of looking at it like he's kind of really know what to make of it. But he walks over and hands it to Fiona and says,
This thing was bolted into its skull.
It's not magical.
Yeah, Fiona like nods. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you say there were more of this thing? There were more
Well,
people
just
chained?
bodies?
No,
Yeah.
there were dead bodies inside that looked like the mage that Zabrak just consumed. Basically, they were bringing in prisoners and feeding them to him and leaving the bodies in there with him.
"Yeah, I don't
Okay, but there was
imagine
the only. Okay, but there was only one of him then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't imagine the
Well-
dead bodies had anything interesting on them. And if this crown is inert, I mean, Hezrod he'll just hang it on his rack of trophies.
Fiona, go ahead and make an Arcana check, because I think with everything that's been played out here, Fiona might be able to suss out what's going on. I don't think you're picking up on what's going on. That's important.
No.
That's no
Eric, would
insult
you
or
say-
anything. It is pretty vague, but I think the character
Mhm.
wouldn't see it as such. And apparently I was wrong. The character does
Oh,
see it as
no.
such, because that's a natural one. Yeah, you just don't get it. What is this all about? Why would they have this weird, crazy mental creature kind of locked in the room with a crown on its head?
I mean, as confused as she is, she also knows that she heard it screaming from his mind, from
Yes.
the mage's mind. So knowing that, she would say back to Hezrod, um,
Hezrod, I don't think
I
it
s-
was controlling
I'm
the
sorry. I
head.
see you
oh wait,
leading, Jonah.
Jesus, Jesus, Jonah.
Sorry. Go ahead, Fiona. Go ahead, Josie. He's trying to baseball shuffle down the passageway.
He's just. He's looking to
just
steal.
touching her
He's
hair.
looking to steal 10th base.
Avran isn't smart.
Go ahead, Josie. What were you saying? Sorry.
Yeah, she'll say,
I'm pretty sure they were using it as a source of magic of some sort. I could hear it in his brain.
They were having a LAN party.
They were having a LAN party.
Hand parties, man. Ooh.
So, Alva, you see Avron starts to move towards the left passageway. There is a northernmost passageway and a westernmost passageway. He's going down the westerly path. You can see that the passage ends in a cave-in, and it looks like there's a fork to the right that ascends northward. Upon looking down that passageway, you can see that there's a door on the left wall, and it looks like up ahead of you it tees off.
As he kind of shuffles forward, I kind of look back at the rest of the group and just
Yeah.
the paladin moves. We should keep up.
Oh, don't worry. I'm well aware of this. He just goes on and does his thing.
Sure. The door that you see looks like it's barred, similarly to the tentacle-headed monster. It looks like there is writing on it as well.
Can I read it?
Yep, it says Squisher Generation.
Okay.
Avron, slow down.
And at that point, if you have the group come up to you, Fiona can make a history check. And
Fiona!
Only Fiona.
See, Avron, this is why you slow down, so we can all walk together
Actually-
and investigate stuff together.
Does Alva have history trained?
I'm not sure to reload.
Okay. Yeah, roll 20 is going to be kind of wonky.
Fiona.
sorry,
It kicked me out.
I can do history, you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Do. Yeah, this is why we stay with the pack.
True.
Mhm. Hey,
Good
Av-
enough.
you remember?
So the term squisher is a familiar one to you due to study. Squisher is a type of entity that is utilized by the conglomerate during the Civil War. A squisher is basically a manufactured ooze that can basically be placed inside of combat attire and utilized as a very fluid combatant against opponents.
Nice.
Okay.
So
They're
do we
also-
leave this door closed?
Insanely cunning.
Avron, you might want to wait, Avron, because do you remember what happened the last time we went off? We went on
Yes.
ahead.
Yes.
Exactly. You don't want to do that again, do we?
All right.
Yeah, I've been waiting
So-
for the right
So
step.
it's sentient then? Is the
Sure. Your,
Okay.
your history check is just kind of giving you an idea of what it was like during the Civil War. It was extremely cunning and amazingly fluid, and it's basically an ooze that corrodes, splits apart when you cut it into pieces, into multiple forms. It's like the worst of all oozes generated
Oh.
on purpose
We're leaving
and
that
used as
door.
fodder to fight.
Leaving that door.
interesting. So she'll just kind of call out to him.
I'm pretty sure if you touch that, you'll degrade.
All right. Well, on to the next hallway.
There's another hallway that looks like it's been caved in to the left. Looks like everything to the west has been broken through or fallen in from the mountain. You kind of move around the large block in the middle there. And Golradier, you've made it at least half of the circumnavigation. Go ahead and make a perception check.
$18.
Yeah. So, would you, upon learning something that's not harmful, do the thing that makes everyone freak out, or would you explain it first and then do it?
Do it.
I'll say, be chaotic.
Because
Just
he
do
knows
it.
it's not harmful, he'd be like, ooh.
So to everyone, they see a massive stone block kind of in the center, and as you kind of look around at it, you realize that the stone block is not there. It's not real. It's fake, and you can walk through it and see through it as well.
Amazing.
Go to.
This is a much more wide open space than you would imagine. You'd also see that the
Wow.
ground on the floor, the stone on the floor, it looks like it's covered with kind of black and purples. Like this might be like a place where something very corrosive has been kind of let loose.
So that's
So
stuff
as
in the...
Gord, you're. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so I was just gonna say that stuff in the room, the squisher generation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They might have been tested here. But as
Yeah.
you kind of walk through the wall and just walk out the other side behind Fiona and kind of just start following, no one notices that you just walked through a wall.
Hey, hey
You
guys.
pop out, hey!
Goes back in. Hey. Hey.
Anything could
I
happen.
saw it, eh?
Eric just like does the whole like arm waving the thing, not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah, you
Alrighty.
once you are aware of the fact that there's no obstacle, it is absolutely just an illusory wall that's kind of
So-
around this block.
Eric poked his head in, looks around, poked his head out.
When
Yeah.
Gord like
Magic.
walks back out of the wall and is like, "Hi guys," Hezrod's like, "Ah!"
Stop doing that.
Averin, as you kind of come around the way, you can see that up ahead there's a staircase that descends down. And it looks like a passageway to the left that kind of leads into kind of a side area with a side chamber door present.
There aren't any, like, plates or anything, right? Like,
No.
specifically from what happened last time?
Go ahead and make a investigation or perception check.
Okay.
You know, I'm not proficient, but can I help him?
No.
Actually, no, I can.
Not 20.
Shouldn't I?
So
No.
what you will note
No, I have something for this.
is that the stairs look off. Like there's something about them that's a bit strange.
Ah.
Each individual stair is kind of set inside of the stone intentionally, instead of it being just one carved sheet
Right.
of stone.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. You rolled that 20. I was thinking I actually have a thing for this for the help action.
Yeah, but for perception checks, usually I don't. It's one person kind of
Okay.
looking.
Oh,
So each stair looks like they've
It's
been
individually settled in instead of like one carved stone frame. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like if most people who would make stairs would use like larger blocks of stone and kind of carve the stone to be stair shaped. This
Yeah.
looks like someone had like a segment and has settled stone like stairs into place.
set. I see. Watch out for the stairs! Everyone!
what's wrong with the stairs?
It doesn't feel right. It doesn't look right either.
Would that imply that the stairs are new if they were placed?
Is-
It doesn't look like that. It looks like it's almost like there's an intentional point to them being like that.
Can
Okay.
Eric grab a, Can I grab a rock and just chuck it at the stairs?
It hits the
No,
stairs.
that will make a lot of noise.
It
Okay.
does
Yeah,
make
no,
a lot.
no.
It does make a lot of noise, and it clatter clangs, and it kind of hits at the bottom. Nothing happens
Yeah,
at the stairs.
if he picks up a rock and tries to throw it down the stairs, Hezrod would
I would assume he'd already did it.
fair.
If people say dumb things, I'm gonna let them do it. And you'd think he'd be better at this, like he's the
I
assassin.
I can't get to the left.
No, is that?
But-
No, is that?
There's no response. Nothing happens. Nothing crazy or
Yeah.
untoward. It just a rock goes
He's just
down
like
the
doing the thing.
stairs, and that's it.
Since Avron mentioned it, that it's kind of
Oh,
askew and odd.
I thought it was like upstairs, not down.
Down,
Never mind.
yeah.
Shit.
Sorry, Fiona, you were saying?
Sorry, since Avron mentioned that there was something kind of askew and odd, she'll elbow her way to the front
Yeah.
and use her spidey senses to
Excuse me.
detect magic and see
Okay.
if there's anything.
No magic. Do
Fiona Tingle.
you want to go with an investigation?
I will
Okay.
go with that.
My
instead, 'cause
Fiona
there's no magic.
senses are tingling.
If there's no magic, my next guess is that there's a switch or something, but it might not be magical.
Sure.
Let's see, investigation.
I can't go to the left. It's blocked off by an invisible force.
I'll double check that in a second here.
It's an invisible. It's a force field.
A call out to her man, Golradier.
Hey, Golvadir, I know you're very good at discovering traps and things. Do you want
That
to come
is
here?
so weird.
Yes.
Okay. With the investigation 17, what you'll note is that the stair looks like if it were compressed by weight, it would descend inward to the stone. And the presumption from you would be that would happen with all of the steps simultaneously. Bear with me here for a second. I'm going to do a quick thing.
Okay.
Since apparently it doesn't want me to be happy.
Okay.
Same
Eric,
though.
Eric, I'm just going to chime in. Eric just chimes in. There was also another path corridor that went to the right. Perhaps we should check that out before we start tackling these stairs.
What? Oh, the other path.
Yes,
right?
the other
Okay,
corridor.
Yeah.
Since
I want
it
to see
doesn't look
what's.
like a meet up here.
I want to see what's over here. Over here, in this door thing. But this
Wait.
force field, it's too
Wait,
powerful.
get
Oh!
I've broken the force field.
Yay!
So this is
I'm just
this is an older map, and apparently there are artifacts that are causing issues with the dynamic lighting because they're old dynamic lighting.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so you are wanting to go through the door.
Well, not through it, but I want to see if it's barred up or has any caution.
Nope. There is a seal on the door, though. It's the double serpents of the conglomerate.
Oh. Okay.
And I keep saying that like you guys know. I know one of you, at least one of you knows for sure. I'm going to go ahead and get you a picture of that. Bear with me here.
None of us know.
Chad, no, two of you do. Chad and Steve both know.
Yeah, Hezrod's
nice.
sticking close to Avran.
The
I
conglomerate.
played Kelder, who
Yeah, he was a
was
conglomerate
a
mage.
former member
Oh,
of
nice.
the conglomerate that went rogue.
That's the double serpents.
Nice.
Okay.
Those guys always just blow up cities and stuff.
I see now.
They always seem to be up to shenanigans.
Yeah, they're
They
they're like,
suck.
hey, we're in charge. We're gonna abuse the shit out of our power.
Dicks.
They have like Star Destroyers.
Do have Star Destroyers. Okay, so if you are wanting to enter,
Yes.
then
Yeah, if
you
he's
can.
gonna open the door, Hezrod's gonna ready his weapon. To sort of
Except that the door is locked.
something weird happen.
So what?
The door is locked.
Oh,
It doesn't trap or anything. Nothing
Cowabunga?
crazy happens. It's just locked.
it's just locked.
Cowabunga?
Noticing that it's not opening, Fiona will turn to Hezrod and say,
Did you say something about acquiring a seal and a staff? There must be an emblem somewhere here that we can use to open this door.
Can I bust it down?
You can try.
Wizards have staff.
Kool-Aid Man.
Go ahead and make an athletics check.
I'm gonna aid him.
Sure, you have advantage.
Good thing.
Yeah.
23.
You slam into that door with assistance from Hezrod shoving you into the door, and you slam right into it, and there's a very loud sound of door and man becoming one momentarily.
And fish.
Also fish. But the door doesn't budge.
What?
Weirdest fish sandwich ever.
Am I not strong enough?
It would
Clearly
seem
not.
so.
Is there any visible like
Did you
keyhole?
try
There is
knocking?
a visible keyhole, Alva.
I look over at Eric. In my old line of work, typically men of your skill were good at picking locks.
Wait. Is it a pull door?
It's one of those
not.
Norman doors.
I would die. I would
No.
die if that was actually it. Just like it's a pull door. It pulls open.
That is not the one.
Yeah, Eric, yeah,
Making sure.
Eric,
Making sure.
yeah, Eric responds to
Alva.
Alva. Why do I keep thinking Alva?
Because average.
In my youth, I've done such things, but I've never kept the tools necessary. If I had the tools, I might be able to piece it together been a while since I've done it.
Right. Well, I can't open that door.
Unfortunate.
Locked. Do we move on to the other corridor?
Yeah.
Yes,
Finn
I
will
say,
probably-
I say we backtrack, check the other corridor first before we head down these stairs that turns into a slide.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll lead the way, I guess, and I'll shoulder my way past everyone.
Sure.
Shoulder
Hezrod's
check
keeping up with
everyone.
Avran.
You make your way back towards the other corridor.
Making my way back.
There's also a door in the main entrance that wasn't opened. If you want to just satisfy that really
Wait,
quick,
oh shit!
you'll note that the
Oh,
metal
this.
bar, once you kind of remove it, opens to a prison cell that is currently empty. Your presumption is that the contents therein are now contents of the Zabrak's chamber. There is some remnant of personage at kind of the south side, mostly fecal matter and urine smells present in the chamber.
Delicious.
And then you snap it around, and you would note that the hallway seems to have been broken out from view. Looks like the floor descends very steeply. It looks like something very horrific happened with the earth here. Looks like it was rent through.
So is it like a deep pit, or is it just like a crevasse?
It's almost like someone shot a massive tendril through. And Hezrod, for you, when you see this, you remember the wreckage of your village. A lot of this scarification, like that on your chest, is very similar. It's like something very snake-like or worm-like burrowed through and just smashed through. Whatever it was massive in that
So
the
go
width
ahead.
of it, based on what you're able to see, was somewhere around the 40-foot wide marker.
That's a huge bit.
What kind of saving throw do I need to have a flashback?
If you want to force that upon yourself, you can. I'm not making you do anything here.
Yeah, as he looks out over this massive rent in the earth, and he kind of connects the dots, and he's reminded of what happens in this village. His focus goes his eyes kind of glaze over, and his focus goes into the middle distance, and he's just kind of standing there, looking slightly scared.
Is he having a Vietnam flashback?
Oh, no.
I mean, he's not that old, but it's very similar.
Can I just poke out with my greatsword?
Yeah.
To see if it's real?
Yeah, absolutely, it's real. And yeah,
Okay.
it's sturdy. I mean, whatever it is, just burrowed through it like it wasn't even there.
Okay.
Apparently.
No,
Alright.
I thought it was an illusion, but yeah,
No,
we'll
it's
go
real.
back.
Yeah.
Are purple worms common enough that I might be like
This is
purple worm?
This is definitely not a purple worm. You would, because
Bigger?
you're from the Mudis region and are familiar with the Honorbound, you would know that purple worms are common in Mudis. This is bigger than a purple worm. Whatever.
Oh
this
boy!
was.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
No.
It's a
Please,
purple
let's
worm dragon.
go the other way.
You would note that
That's-
whatever it is moved northly. So what it came if you go back outside and were to walk away from the temple's entrance, you'd be walking towards the shore. Whatever this is came from the seaside and burrowed its way in through the earth, probably from beneath the coast, up into this point and further into the temple.
Nice.
Do not like it.
I hate it.
Alright.
No.
Now, considering
Oh.
this is reminiscent of what happened in my village, do I remember what creature did that? Or
No,
what was responsible for that?
no,
It all just happened so fast.
it did very suddenly.
It was the Kraken.
As Hezrod kind of shakes his head and
Out of
comes
character.
back to his senses.
Out of character and for flavor purposes, Elizabeth will tell you no, it's not a kraken, because they found the dead kraken that was killed by whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
Mhm.
Nice.
Bigger than a purple
Wait,
worm
wait,
eats
wait,
krakens.
Wait, this thing
Not
killed
this-
a kraken?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But this is out of character knowledge. Just
Yeah.
keep,
Yeah,
keeping,
but
keeping the
Is
threads
this
in
something
everything.
related? Oh, is this related to the other
The
game?
Tuesday game, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, excellent. So
Anyway.
I guess as everybody starts
Kraken.
moving off, and Hezrod kind of comes back to his senses, and he's kind of
Yeah.
a little shaken.
Mhm.
He picks up a rock and he casts. I think he has light.
Sure, you throw it in there. It's bright enough that you can see. You can walk out into it. It's perfectly kind of beveled
it's
out.
like, you
and
can
it's-
navigate.
Yeah, it's
okay.
like 40 feet in dimensionality. You can go
Yeah.
up and down the path if you want. You can go back towards the coast, or you can go up north towards wherever else is there.
We might use that to navigate through the region after, like once we're done with the rest of this, but it might be worth exploring this tunnel.
Sure.
But yeah, he casts light on a pebble and he kind of like throws it out into the area to sort of see what it illuminates, if anything interesting pops out.
Not really.
Okay. Then he kind of stares at it a moment, kind of reminisces for a second, and then kind of follows everybody else back out of the hallway.
Yeah. Okay. So you're basically kind of in a rock and a hard place situation. You can either go down the steps, you can try and get that door open, however you want to give that a go. If you have Thieves' Tools proficient, you can try and make a Thieves' Tools check without Thieves' Tools using mundane items to try and do it. You have disadvantage when you do it that way, but you can give it a go.
You got those gloves.
Oh.
The gloves would help a lot.
So I can still find whatever. And
Yeah,
still
you can
give it a
basically
try.
you can try and like bobby pin it, or like find like a sliver of bone or something. Try and use a dagger or something. Like there's options, but using not tools, disadvantage.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well.
It's okay.
Okay,
I
then.
recognize the tune, so that's awesome.
I definitely do.
Okay. Yeah. In that case, yeah, Eric, I'll throw on the gloves and give it a whirl.
Okay. Go ahead and make a Thieves' Tools check with disadvantage.
Let's just and the gloves. I know I
Plus
just looked
5.
this up. Yeah. But
What happens if I-
disadvantage.
Put weight on the first step with my
This is
great
gonna
sword.
be with Dex, obviously.
You putting your full weight on it, or are you just?
Yeah, with my
11.
great
And that'll be plus 5.
No, 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
You kind of reach in, you kind of like find a sliver of stone, which is thin enough for you to kind of work with,
It's like
and you kind of pop it in there with a dagger and kind of finagle it a bit, and then you hear kind of as you unlock it.
Nice.
I guess I should now be here.
Upon
Light, please.
upon opening it, you would
As
see,
you kind of click it open, you feel kind of a hand on your shoulder.
and I'll move
You're
the
like,
group
I know you had it in you.
over in that direction.
Thank you.
Avrin, you said you're putting your full weight on the stone, or no?
With my greatsword, can I just like lean over and then just plunge it
Yeah, sure.
into?
Yeah, but you're trying to keep your weight on your back foot so that you're not falling forward if
Yes.
something happens.
Yeah,
Got it.
he's testing the stair with his sword.
You're a big enough fellow that half of your weight is enough to do it. You watch as the first step descends, and then all of the steps descend, creating a slide straight down. Nothing else happens.
Wonderful.
I
And
know
there
that's
just
supposed to be a trap, but it
Pop it
sounds like
up.
a lot of fun.
It does the exact same thing, but in an opposite direction. So the first step you pushed, and then all of the steps created the slide, and it reverts back into steps.
Oh.
Eric hears noisy turns. What's Avron doing back there?
Popping the door.
Nothing.
Inside, you would see bookshelves lined with books. There's also a couple of pieces of interesting kind of knickknacks.
no.
Like
I'm just gonna step.
yeah,
I'm
there's
just gonna light torch and step inside.
Sure. There's a glass vase. There's a couple of weird, creepy dolls. There's I'm getting your light here. Hold on. 3 chests of treasure-like nature. There's
Okay.
books, like I mentioned. Quite a series of books. You can see that the whole set of Fire and Star is on the bookshelves. Just a small little kind of like loot hoard that's been placed here. The treasure chests are obviously locked.
I'm assuming this ain't supposed to happen.
No, it's
See
not.
through here. Didn't think so. So that's just nothing. Yeah, since so Eric's gonna get at the other chests. He's gonna let others look at everyone's, but he's like, well, clearly I'm the one here they gotta take care of locks.
You're the guy.
So he'll start getting
Hezrod
working
moves into the room. Moves into the room with him to sort of like cover him.
Okay.
So,
and then
want to do this one at a time or just roll 3?
Well, no, none of that. None of those things are happening. I've got a minute left.
Oh yeah.
I gotta do the thing. Okay, so as you kind of like lean down and start kind of messing with the lock, and Hezrod, you kind of come in and start looking around. Hezrod, go ahead and make a perception check.
Don't tell me he's a mimic. Don't tell me he's a mimic.
So you and I are the only ones who are going to operate
Nailed
in this
it.
first turn, and we will do that first turn at the beginning of next session. But you watch as one of the creepy dolls very slowly gets up from its kind of resting position, walk over and grab a pair of scissors that are quite big compared to its frame, look down at Eric, kind of raise the scissors up over its head, and it looks like it's getting ready to jump down and attack Eric.
Jesus.
You and I will operate on the first turn. Everyone else will be surprised for the first round of initiative at the start of next session. And thank you for watching. We're going to go ahead and kill the stream. And have a great rest of your whatever you're doing.
Good night.
Night.